It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
More good news for the Patriots as they continue to get ready for their divisional round home playoff game with Houston on Sunday. They had full attendance at practice yesterday, and even better, Christian Gonzalez was no longer in a red non-contact jersey, a sure sign he's a good bet to play against the Texans. Houston top wideout Nico Collins, meanwhile, missed his second straight practice. He seems to be a long shot to participate this weekend. The Bruins retired Zdeno Chara's number 33 last night at a ceremony before their home game against Seattle at TD Garden.
Being a Bruin was and still is the biggest privilege and responsibility I had. I would like to thank all of my coaches, all of my teammates.
After that was done, the current Bruins went out and swept their 5-game homestand by beating the Kraken 4-2. David Pastrnak, an empty net goal to put the game away. He now has 20 goals for a 10th consecutive season. The Bruins' next game is in Chicago tomorrow night. As for the Celtics, they chased Miami for most of the evening. However, they closed the game on a 21-9 run to beat the Heat in a 119-114 in South Florida. Anthony Simon scored a game-high 39 points off the bench. Jaylen Brown added 27. This road trip continues in Atlanta tomorrow night. And in baseball news, the LA Dodgers have reportedly signed the top free agent left on the board, outfielder Kyle Tucker. It is a 4-year, $240 million contract. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Best Ford in Nashua. Looking for great deals on new Fords? Go to the Best first. Best Ford in Nashua. Head to bestford.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah. Boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Did you catch the game last night?
A rugged double bear.
Fred, hello! Boopity bop ba da bop boom.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Fred, hello!
Hello, Guy from Machine. How are you?
Waving another gay flag!
Yes, you are waving the gay flag. I love it. Thank
Bears.
you. That's right. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. A big show today on the air. Bert Breer in studio at 7 o'clock. Cedric Maxwell at 8:20. Kendra will be in today. Lots of fun.
Scruff.
That's right. The best gay app that everyone's so stuck on Grindr, but it's like Tinder. No one uses it anymore.
I like Scruff.
Thank you. So do I.
Grindr was a Jeopardy answer not long ago.
Really? What was the question?
Well, like what's the best top gay app?
Really?
Yeah.
And what category was that under?
Scruff.
It was under the category of scruff.
Okay. I'm just wondering, was that the $500 question?
And I knew the answer, but I didn't shout it out in front of my wife and kids. You know, I
Okay.
don't want to expose myself.
What was the? Was there really Grindr? Was the answer?
Yeah.
What category could that possibly have been? How could you get there?
Was there a gay guy on the show? So he was like.
There's always a gay guy in the show. It's a new thing.
Oh.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find it here. It was probably about a month ago.
Okay.
See what the category was. Notable moment occurred during a final Jeopardy round where the correct answer was the dating app Tinder. No, that's not it.
No, you just went Grinder. Because it's at the top of
Interesting.
your mind, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Grinder's really his Tinder.
Yeah, right.
Because no one will think to look for him on there.
Sneaky.
Yeah, that's where he goes by Poolboy69.
There was, going back now, this is from a year ago. Apparently, and I don't remember this, but the answer to the final question was Tinder for another question.
Uh-huh.
But someone said there was obviously a gay contestant because they spelled Tinder Tindr, which is how Grindr spells theirs.
Okay.
So
that's what you're thinking of?
No. It was not long ago. It was Grindr.
Okay.
I saw it, unless I dreamt it.
Wow.
Well, we've all dreamt that. I mean, we finally all our institutional knowledge being rewarded on a major game show.
Well, they say you're really ready to try out for Jeopardy when you start dreaming in terms of Jeopardy clues, questions and answers, where the answer is actually the question, John.
I hadn't heard that.
You don't know how Jeopardy works.
It's been so long since I've seen it.
The answer, and then you reply in the form of a question.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's how it works on Jeopardy.
All right. Let's go to the phones. Benjamin. Hello, Benjamin.
Freddie, baby.
Hello, Benjamin.
Oh, it's so great to hear you. Happy birthday, 51. It's a beautiful thing. John,
yes.
If I remember correctly, it was about World War II, the end of World War II, when you turned 51. Congratulations.
Thank you,
He was one of the Bugle Boys of Company C.
He was. Fred, now listen, as you're arguably becoming in the best spiritual health on your 51st birthday with your new Christmas Bible and all, you know that inspirational tome about footprints in the sand?
Yes.
Yes. Well, in your case, the footprints are yours because Nick gave up probably about a mile ago to get a snack and rest his big booty. Love you.
All right. Thank you. That is absolutely true. Nick is got a very large behind. Let's go to John. John, hello.
Good morning, Fred. Happy birthday.
Thank you, John.
I caught the end of Murray's show last night, giving everybody a heads up to give you a call today and wish you a very happy birthday. I hope you have a great day today.
So you were up late and now you're up early. What time did Joe do this last night? Like around 11?
Oh, no. I was out of the Bruins game last night, and it was probably one of the last things he said on air last night.
Was happy birthday to me?
He said, call up and wish Fred a happy birthday.
Oh, look at Joseph.
Yeah, that was great.
I like
Very
that.
nice of him.
That's very nice of him, telling the big audience coming out of the big Zdeno Chara game to help me out. I am in a state here because my Yahoo Mail is not working on my phone. And, I'm going to get a lot of deals today.
Yes.
And who knows how long these deals are going to be active.
Happy birthday, Fred. Here's another way to celebrate.
Yes.
20% off today only.
I mean, these are the most, these are my friends, the people that send in the emails to, I bought something from some company I don't even remember anymore when they send like a nice thing, maybe 10% off. I mean, I don't know. I'm in a little bit of a state because I don't know how I'm going to get into this thing.
Okay. So, the only one I remember as a kid was getting a free meal at Denny's on your birthday. That was the thing.
Yes,
you could do.
I think I have done that before.
And I absolutely did that. But according to a quick search here, you can get free birthday treats today, you, Fred, at Starbucks, Cinnabon, Baskin Robbins. There's tons of those around. Free wings at Buffalo Wild Wings, Jersey Mike's, IHOP, Red Robin, Nothing Bunt Cakes, and beauty gifts at Sephora/Ulta.
Well,
wow.
Isn't that fun?
Someone's going to be making the rounds later.
You know what I see here? According to Richie, who just emailed in, you can also get, and this is non-ironically because I know this had a problem with Rochi, you can get a free Slurpee today.
That is unironic. That is a completely ironic. I cannot get a free Slurpee today. That you only get a free Slurpee on 7-Eleven.
According to this, if you provide, I have no knowledge of this. If you provide proof,
I think he's
that today
having
is
fun.
your birthday.
I think he's having a little bit of fun. Is what I think is happening right now. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
Hey, now you probably already have the Burger King app on your phone.
Of course.
All right. You get double rewards points today.
Ooh.
Which are called crowns. So you're not going to get anything for free specifically unless you have enough crowns already built up, and then you get double crowns today, and then you can go back for a second time and get something for free.
Well, I'm actually saving enough crowns to get a crown. In seeing Doug Carboni, the famous magician that did all my friends' birthday parties while we were kids. Doug Carboni, the brown-suited magician, dressed in what would essentially be Kmart suits.
I wonder if I ever ran across Doug Carboni.
You must have. The magical community in your area couldn't have been enormous, right? I mean, he might have shown up at the same library as you that time.
But first of all, no, I've only worked a couple of libraries, so the fact that we would have crossed paths there.
Oh, okay.
No, but yeah, there were more than you'd think. You know, there was competition for those gigs, and nobody wanted to do the Cub Scout blue and gold banquets. Those were the worst, absolute worst.
Tough crowd.
Animals, absolute animals.
How did it pay? You go to the Cub Scouts.
They paid fine.
Yeah.
You know, they had the budget, but nobody wanted to do them. They were the worst.
What, the kids, they didn't appreciate it?
Right.
And how so? Like, what would they do?
They yell, throw stuff, you know, try and yell out how the tricks were done and try and screw things up. I used to do a bit, you know, for the juggling portion of the show where I would have a kid come up. I would start with, you know, juggling two balls in one hand and have a kid throw the third ball into my, you know, free hand. And those Cub Scout bastards, you know, they'd wind up, you know, like they were trying to, you know, throw some heat. I'm like, no, you got to toss it underhand. And of course, you know, they're all hopped up on Kool-Aid and dipping sticks. And, you know, they couldn't be bothered to follow instructions. Ugh.
Now, well, they were also hopped up on that thick-ass cough syrupy orange drink that they used to serve at those parties at McDonald's. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Like if your school ever
they
brought
would bring
McDonald's
them to like
in.
field day too in a big vat, and you would like be so thirsty, and you'd take it. It would be thick and sweet.
It was 95% syrup and 5% carbonation. That was the ratio I got when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was absolutely terrible. That was it was no, there was no carbonation. It was just flat.
It was a flat orange.
It was a flat orange drink with
orange drink.
And it was orange drink. Yeah. It was just it was just this incredibly disgusting thick orange drink, which you would think that you would be so thrilled to have McDonald's at the school that everything would be delicious, but it was not. It was absolutely horrible.
Now, when you were a kid and you had the birthday party in your classroom, you would think this would go along the same lines, but I don't think of it poorly. I remember it fondly. The big can of Hawaiian Punch, and you pop open both sides of that sumbitch to get the airflow going correctly. And if it was a chilled can of Hawaiian Punch that was being served with the birthday treats for a kid's birthday, now that was legit.
You're living large there. That's very true.
I bet they don't even sell it in the big cans anymore.
I haven't seen one since I was a kid.
Hawaiian Punch was legit.
Yeah, but if you ate it now, you'd feel terrible about yourself.
If you drank Hawaiian Punch?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you'd feel bad about yourself.
They're drinking a friend, maybe no.
That's
The
right.
closest I could get to red drink, sorry.
The drinking of red drink. Red drink. Red drink. Dan, hello.
Happy birthday, Fred. Don't forget your slushie at 7-Eleven with Rochi. And the big story, a Friday birthday is a good day to have a birthday. What is the big plans tonight? Sleep in tomorrow? What are we doing?
Well, my daughter has a basketball game at 5:30, and then I am going out to eat with my children. So it's a very exciting day. I mean, you can't. I mean, these are the kinds of things that only celebrities enjoy. You know, big local terrestrial radio celebrities get these kinds of situations happening. So but I do have plans. So don't worry about me. I will not be at home alone. I will be out and about. I went out last night, and I'm going out tonight. Now, it is interesting because I do not have plans for tomorrow, but I'm debating whether or not asking people if they want to go watch football. But I think I care enough about the early game to be able to watch it by myself. So it's like a big quandary at that point. Because then I just assume have people at my house, but I don't. But I want to watch the game. And if I end up going out somewhere to watch it with people, like I'll barely be able to watch it, and then people are going to want to leave at halftime. Like it's going to be one of those things. So I do want to watch it.
I know. I would be more down with watching San Francisco, Seattle, in a group setting at a restaurant, because I don't care about it as much. But I'm also not going out at 8:00 on a Saturday night to watch a football game that doesn't end until after 11. Not doing that.
Yeah, I don't need to do that because I mean, I can easily be in bed right when it's over. So yeah, I don't necessarily have to do that. But I am debating that. I'm debating if I need to be with other people during the 3:00 game.
You don't,
because Zoe has a game on Saturday too.
Oh,
but when that's over,
back-to-back days.
I wish the Buffalo game was later. Because then I would go out. Yeah, for the night game, I would go out. Even though it was the Buffalo game, it's still Saturday night. I'd go out. But I don't know if that's gonna strike me. What time is that game at?
So it's
4:00?
4:30 for Buffalo, Denver.
Okay, 4:30 for Buffalo, Denver.
And then at 8:00, San Fran, Seattle. I just say San Fran. I don't bother saying the whole name.
That's what they.
You know what I
say?
say? Hello.
And then Sunday.
Yoo-hoo.
Sunday, Beantown, home v. who?
Yeah, that I'm going to be completely locked in. That I got my papers around me.
That one, yeah. There's no messing around. I mean, you got the snacks ready?
Ooh.
I think I'll be too nervous to eat. I don't know what I'll do.
Get the whole football platter out.
That's right. Blind Scott. Hello, Blind Scott.
Wow.
Oh, hey, what's up, Fred? Yeah, I was telling everybody on the Joe Murray chat last night, like, that it was your birthday, and we should all wish you a happy birthday. That's why you're getting those calls. But one of the biggest questions I have is, like, so since you're single, you could have sex with a fan today for your birthday. You know what I'm saying? So, like, people should apply for that throughout the show today. You could meet them at the Best Western on 308 Winter Street. I was going to stay there for your birthday tonight to celebrate your birthday, but my mom said that if I came and just showed up, I'd get arrested, and she's the only one that's willing to support me, and if I get arrested, she's not bailing me out. So, Fred, I'd like to tell you that you've changed my life so much in the past year, and I've been able to participate in this show to a high level, and it's built up my confidence, and it's made me a better person. I've lost weight. My skin's better. Everything in my life is better because of you, Fred, and I love you so much because of it, you know?
Oh, well, thank you, Blind Scott. And thank you to your mother for having common sense. But I will...
It's not me.
No.
It's not the guy who actually, brought him over onto this show.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. He kind of skipped right over you
like
there.
Hardy, too. No, Hardy, I'm coming to your Super Bowl party. Like, I go on your cruise, but you can't bring narcotics over, like, on these cruise boats. But I'm thinking maybe me and you could take the cruise boat down into the Caribbean, and we could smuggle some, boop, 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 bada boo booka, bring it back and make some money, get out of this radio gig. We could hook up with the Golden Banana, maybe go get a couple drinks, get a couple strippers, maybe hang out with DB, all that stuff.
These are all
Hardy, me and you could be good friends.
That's a
One thing that happened, Hardy,
these are all things that are going to happen.
You hurt my feelings.
Lovely idea.
Hardy, you hurt my feelings when you put that Everyday Maggie in that truck and drove around the North End, and just like it totally crushed me so much. I didn't think we were that type, but now we're going to reunite. And let's call Bob McGovern right now and get a truck down to the North End, and we'll give a truck away to everybody on Fred's birthday.
All right.
Right. I do like the idea of me getting a room at the Best Western to have sex.
Yeah, it would only be for an hour. It would just be for an hour. I got some points. I'll get the room for you. I have enough points from COVID. They locked me in the Best Western for like 6 weeks in 3 different states, So I have all these Best Western points from COVID.
Well, I see how they could lock you in 3 different states during COVID. That's the thing is that I'm more than open. If anyone would like to have sex at the Best Western in Waltham today, simply call in. And we can have sex at the Best Western in Waltham.
Do you need an hour?
Well, I'd like to get to know the person.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to just hop in the sack.
Seems like a waste of at least 45 to 50 minutes, but.
Well, you know me. It's never.
It's a whole production.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Trying to get you there.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
I'm trying to get you to feel something.
Yeah, I'm dead inside. All right. Let me. Jason, go ahead.
That was a missed spot for the Blue Chew thing, and I think that was a weird Freudian slip that Blind Scott wants to meet you at Best Western for sex. But that drink at McDonald's was Orange High C. They still have it, and it still will put you in a diabetic coma. It is thick like molasses, and it will kill you.
The thing is that,
but it's
if you want to watch that game, sorry not to cut you off. If you want to watch that game, get rid of your family because they will find something to bother you throughout that whole game, and it will only be during that game. You'll have kids crying. You'll have people asking you stupid questions. Just get rid of everybody. Watch it alone. Go lock yourself. Go to the Best Western and just don't even invite anybody. Just watch the game there.
Well, I don't have my kids this weekend, and my son's fine watching games because the Jets really took him for a loop this year. He's pretty much out.
Is he out on football?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he's really enjoying the full Jet experience.
He's turned into like Barry Sanders or Calvin Johnson. It's the whole experience is just making him quit the game.
Yeah, he's pretty out, but he'll most likely come over on Sunday for some of the Patriots game, but he's fine during the game. So, and my daughter is so disinterested in sports, she won't even. I mean, she would just sit there on the phone. They're old enough where they're not going to bother me, but I'm definitely comfortable on Sunday. I can watch that game alone. I will not. I think I would prefer to watch that game alone.
I'm not saying which members of my family, but I had two separate questions asked to me during last week's game. If they lose, who do they play next?
Mm-hmm.
That was number one.
Sure.
And also, if they win this, do they go to the Super Bowl? Which I thought was the least offensive of the two questions. But the person asking knew that it was a playoff game and asked me, all right, well, who do they play if they lose this one?
Well, it's a double elimination. You got to go to the loser's bracket and fight your way back.
I don't know. The preseason schedule is not out yet. I don't know who they play next. But
if they had only swept their preseason schedule, they'd get a better seed.
Oh, if they lose, they're done? Yep. That's how playoffs work in the NFL. It's just the one.
Mm-hmm.
These almost seem like questions they know the answers to, and they're just trying to be precious.
Or trying to piss you off.
No, I think it's more like trying to be precious. Like, I think that you get what a playoff game is in the NFL.
Okay.
I mean, it would be quite grueling if it was best of 7 in football. I mean, just seeing the contact out there and the fact that they play once a week.
That's right. What you should have said was, well, they lose home field.
Well, what it is it's
now they have to go to the other building.
Well, it's 4 rounds and they play 7 games a round.
No,
they play once a week, so it takes 2 years for the playoffs to end.
No, it's only 2 games, but it's aggregate score. It's like
soccer.
soccer.
It's soccer. This thing.
Oh, I like the way soccer does things.
Oh, yeah.
I really do.
They have it figured out.
I really like the way that it happens. It makes all the sense in the world. Very lucky that it's that popular a sport where it is. All right, we will be back. We will catch up with everything that happened last night.
Boop, 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 bada boo booka, you know.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Bernardi for now. Bernardi.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. I had one of these Celsiuses. We have a big refrigerator full of them, and I usually just have soda, but I had one of these Celsiuses, and I tell you what, I enjoyed it. It was a watermelon Celsius.
Mm-hmm. They're pretty good, aren't they?
I might be plowing through these at a pretty good rate now because, I get going and I find it very difficult to stop. So don't get too used to the Celsiuses in the refrigerator, because if it's anything like this diet soda addiction, we're gonna have an issue here. All right, what happened last night, Artie?
Well, there was the big retirement ceremony and jersey lifting for Zdeno Chara at TD Garden last night.
After signing, you're a little unsure, but took no time walking in North End, riding my bike along the Charles River, meeting people of Boston, and we felt at home. We felt welcome, and we were happy with our decision.
Now, there was a lot of thanking of teammates. He rattled off everyone on the 2011 team. I was sitting there waiting. I'm like, don't forget Caberlet. Don't forget Caberlet. He got him in at the very end. It was the very last one.
Did he mention all of them? I was watching it. I was like, I wasn't checking boxes, but Dan Paye. Was Soupy in there?
Paye, Campbell, Peverly.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of guys on that team I forgot were on that team, but no, he name-checked them all.
Right.
There was also, name-checking of front office people.
I would like to start with recognizing the entire Boston Bruins organization, leading with Chairman Mr. Jeremy Jacob, Charlie Jacob, following with Cam Neely and Don Sweeney for giving me and my family this incredible honor. So thank you.
And what's funny about the Cam Neely thing is, like, his number's retired, so he's part of it.
Right there.
Yeah, like, so not only it's so fun because he got cheered when they announced him.
Right.
So I listened and watched it. I didn't see when he did. I couldn't. I went out, but I wasn't going to sit through the whole speech anyway when Chara got up there. But so when Neely is announced as one of, because they bring out everyone who's like Willie O'Reed and like everyone
individual, they walk on the carpet to their chair. Yeah.
And so it's funny, like Neely as a player gets a round of applause.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Orr gets the biggest round of applause by far. But, Neely comes out, and it's amazing how many of these guys, thankfully, are still alive. Not Orr, but, I mean, Orr's not an ancient man, but, Busick and stuff. Like, these guys, Busick's got to be older than Orr, right?
Yeah, Busick is much older than Orr.
Yeah.
They brought him out with a walker. Pasternak had to help him.
But the thing is, Busick's always around, so it's not like as... In fact... Let's be honest. A lot of these guys are around a lot. So, like Tuukka Rask being at something, just go to Buffs in Newton. Like, Tuukka's... You go to Buffs every day for a week after work, you'll run into Tuukka.
You know what's interesting?
Just real quick, I thought it was interesting when Cam Neely comes out as a player.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's excited because, they loved him as a player.
Oh, yeah.
But then when it comes time to the front office thing... But and I'm a fan of the Bruins, but I got here in 2006, and it's funny when Ferentz was talking for a long time, and Ferentz, I understand that they consider Ferentz being like the most charismatic and personable of those guys, but not a comedian. A lot of jokes. I felt bad for him because a lot of jokes really not landing. I would have taken a bit of a different strategy if I was him. I wouldn't. The only thing that got a laugh is he's like, a lot of you have probably run next to Zdeno Chara in the marathon like quick fun fact, you can get a nice draft off of him, which is a bad joke. It's just that he's tall, but that got a laugh. So I got to tell you, nothing else did. And if that got a laugh, that gives you kind of perspective on it. Wasn't very funny.
You're playing to a crowd that's automatically on your side to start with.
Yeah, I would have handled it differently. But anyway, so but he was fine. But I don't understand this blind. I know the hatred of the Jacobs goes back to before I moved here in 2006.
Yes,
I understand that. I understand that there was this, before the cap and everything, that they were cheap, and I know they don't live here, and I know they're like kind of weird and they don't talk a lot. I understand all those things, but since I've lived here, which is 20 years now, they have done nothing wrong. Nothing like inexcusable. They don't meddle, maybe not enough, but I take that over anything else.
They spend to the cap every year.
They spend to the cap.
Yes.
The facilities are great. They moved the practice rink. They created Warrior Ice Arena. They're all involved in you go to Tufts Floating Hospital for Children. It's all Bruins stuff.
Seriously, if you were a fan and you went to where they used to practice up in Wilmington, and I think you were here when they used to practice up in Wilmington at the Restucius Center.
Yeah, I was here. Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to remember what year that was.
No. They were here there for a long time.
So they were
there when they won the Cup.
So they were at the Restucius Center for all those years, and then they moved to this brilliant building right next to the Pike in Brighton, right next to the Auerbach Center where the Celtics are. It's night and day. They spend to the cap every year. They did deliver a Stanley Cup. They were on the verge of winning another one.
Well, it's not. It's not their fault that team didn't win more cups.
So you can blame player moves. You can blame Don Sweeney for bad signings or bad trades, but you can't blame those guys.
Like booing Sweeney makes the most sense out of all of that.
Correct.
I wouldn't have, but I almost. I hate to say this, but I almost feel bad for the Jacobs family because it's like we're putting together this big thing for Chara. Like we're filling this thing at 6:15. Like I'm sitting here for this speech.
2 hours.
In the minute I know it's I can't believe you guys sat through that. Who went? But like you go and now I'm getting booed. And what the hell did I do?
Right.
Yeah.
Especially if you're Jeremy.
They got you a new building. I mean,
wait, which one? Charlie's the younger one.
Yes.
Yeah, Charlie. Especially if you're Charlie Jacobs. Like, what did you do? He didn't do anything. He can't be much older than like 55. I mean, what did he do? He's 35 years old when they started turning things around.
I think there's a lot of people booing because that's just what you do. When they mention the Jacobs, you boo.
Well, anyway, if the Jacobs are listening, I'm on your side in that. I don't think that you should have been booed.
Well, I don't, and you're right that, Cam Neely announced as a player, he doesn't get booed. I think even in this instance, he doesn't get booed if he's not mentioned just in lockstep with Sweeney, who is going to get booed.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because when Neely was playing here, he was scoring 50 goals a season. He was a power forward. I mean, people loved him when he played. And to see him get booed is kind of odd. It is. Especially after he walked out there to a huge ovation. Very strange.
I mean, his numbers retired. They don't have and the Bruins, to their credit, haven't retired. Now they're getting there. But they haven't, I mean, you have that ridiculous amount of Celtics numbers retired.
They'll never.
But the more we talk to Cedric, the more I'm on the side of his number being retired.
Yes.
Like, I just was so little when he was, like, good.
Yeah.
I was a little flippant about that, and I really should. I was talking out of my ass. I don't know. What do I know happened in the early 80s in Boston? So, I mean, I was a little kid. I don't know what. I was not a Celtics fan. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I didn't know what was going on with anything. But, it's just, Cam, it's obvious. Like, they like Cam Neely. They like the idea of him playing for the Bruins. They just got cheered and booed. So if I'm Neely, I feel all right. It's like a push, I guess.
Well, there was an actual game that took place afterward, and I don't have the stats in front of me, but just anecdotally, I seem to remember a couple of these instances recently between the Bruins and Celtics where they fall a little flat on a night like this. the emotions. It's so hard.
Sure.
It's so hard,
Right.
John. It's so hard.
It is.
You reach your peak when there's these speeches going on, and then how do you get yourself back up for the game?
How about this? I had a 7:45 dinner reservation in the city. I came home, and there was still 7 minutes left in the game.
Oh, really? I thought you were going to say early second period.
No, but no, I got home late. I mean, I was at like a real dinner, like a long dinner. And the thing is that I went to bed before the game was over.
Yeah.
Before a home game, hockey game. They're 2.5 hours long, if that.
Okay, they started at 6:20. The game didn't start until 8.
Yeah. Well,
10 after 8.
So I had a very similar experience as you did last night, Fred. I left the house around 6:45, 7, something like that, and listened to 30 minutes of, speeches and ceremony and stuff like that. Got to where I was going, didn't leave until after 9:30.
Yeah.
And made it home to watch the end of the third period in bed. Got home, took the dog out, got everything ready to go.
Yep.
There was hockey was on the radio for many hours last night.
Yes.
In some form.
Yes.
So let's get to the actual game here.
Here's Zdeno moving in left circle, scores! Just 54 seconds in. Zdeno walks in front and backhands it around the cord. Bruins have a 1-0 lead.
All right, so less than a minute into the game, it looks like the Bruins are going to take care of business, and they did.
He's got Middleton moving up the left side. Now crossing pass. Here comes Zaka with speed into the zone. Stops on the right circle. Sends it across. Arvidsson back in front. Score! Middleton deflects that puck in. Bruins up 2-0 early.
By the way, Arvidsson,
2 goals on their first 3 shots.
Arvidsson's found himself. He's points in his last 6 games, 3 goals there. I mean, it's been a long wait, but here we are, middle of the season. Arvidsson has shown up.
Bruins take a 2-1 lead into the room during the first intermission, come back out, and in the second period.
Beniers has it stolen by Kastelik. Short-handed chance, scores! Mark Kastelik, the takeaway, and the backhander. Bruins make it 3-1.
Nice way to make up for allowing the power play goal at toward the end of the first by getting the shorty there in the second. David Pastrnak would add the empty netter, 4-2 win over the Kraken.
Mike is off. Here's a question. How long has David Pastrnak been in the league? Just guess.
8 years.
I was going to say 8. That was the number.
12. This is his 12th season.
Which is sad because I remember when Haggerty came on and said that he was going to make the team, and then Jaffe said, what a foolish statement that was, and then Pastrnak made the team.
Yeah, he's playing all right.
David Pastrnak has scored 20 goals.
He's a decent player.
20
back
goals
in the day.
in 10 straight seasons. David Pastrnak with that goal last night. 411 goals for his career.
He might make the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Which I suggest everyone take a visit to because it's extremely impressive. It's at the best end of the mall that it's in.
I was so unimpressed. I didn't go in, but when I was up in Toronto the last time, I'm like, where is it? He's like, it's the guy I was with is right over there. I'm like, that's it? That's the Hockey Hall of Fame. Oh, man.
Is it big enough to where they took over a Sears, or did they take over?
It's like an end. It's like a.
Well, Sears is big, though.
No, what is it called? What are they called? Like Sears, like an anchor store. Yeah, like it took an anchor store.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good.
Like at least one floor of an anchor store. So yeah, it's not great.
Man,
it's not great.
It's so
now it's in
sad.
downtown Toronto, so you're not going out of you're not like going to like Columbus, Ohio. Not Columbus. You're not going to Canton, Ohio, or Springfield.
Yep.
Like you're in Toronto. I mean, it's like accessible. It's not like a long way to go.
And yet somehow disappointing still.
Oh, very disappointing. Very disappointing.
You went in. Did you go in? I didn't go in.
Oh, I went in.
Okay, I didn't go in.
I went. Well, I was in. I was in for a half an hour, and then it was over.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll be back in just a moment. We will get into the Celtics game. Here are the headlines. Such an fantastic explosion.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Is it Bottle Rockets?
Sure is. Happy birthday, buddy.
Hey.
Nice.
All right. We are Toucher and Hardy. And Hardy, we went over the Bruins. The Celtics played last night as well.
Yeah, they were in Miami, and early on, Miami took a pretty good lead there in the first. You know, the game can best be told by win probability percentages. So let's look at it from that angle, if you would please, Fred. I know you're a big fan. At the 4:03 mark in the first, with the Miami Heat up 30-12, they had a 90% win probability. The game is pretty much over, as most NBA games are in the first quarter. You just you know what's going to happen the rest of the night. And if you don't believe that, how about a 96% win probability for the Miami Heat? With 1:33 to go in the third, they're up 93-78. Would you like to know the moment that it flipped and it went over to the Boston side for the first time during the night? Fourth quarter, Anthony Simons.
Derek White for Simons, the hot hand, 32 points in 29 minutes off the bench. Simons against Yakachonis. Step back, three in the air. Got it! He knew it, too. He knew it when it left his fingers.
That man is on something. Drug test him. Oh.
Yes,
Anthony drug test him, for Christ's sakes.
Off the bench last night, played 34 minutes, scored 39. Season high for Anthony Simons, and the Celtics weren't going to let him down.
Double team comes, Simons cross-court deflected, gets to Hauser, moves to Jaylen Brown, left side three, got it! Jaylen Brown hasn't taken a shot in about an hour, but now he puts the Celtics up by 2.
He did indeed, and then Sam Hauser chipping in toward the end.
Derek White lobs it. Jaylen Brown's got it. Avoids the steal of Powell. Moves to the Simons right side. In the corner, Garza, three, bounces, and tapped in by Sam Hauser. Over the cylinder, they're going to say no basket. Sam Hauser immediately runs back to the Boston bench to see if the Celtics will challenge.
Yeah, are they going to challenge that one, John?
Yes, they are going to challenge that one.
Yeah, you go by what Hauser says. He's a pretty straight up guy.
He never argues. We're backing Sam. Sam's our guy. Sam, I am.
Celtics going to get the 119-114 win over the Heat in Miami.
This was a night where Peyton Pritchard studiously avoided taking part in just about anything. He was 1 of 4 from the field, a -20, scored 2 points. Derek White neither he or White scored the first half. If Simons didn't go crazy, they would have lost by 30. It was that was one of those nights where you needed a guy like Simons to win that game, because they were completely disinterested at the start.
It's funny, you talk about those win probabilities. So Zoe, my daughter, had a game during the Buffalo-Jacksonville first half, and I was at the game, and I had the game cast on, because through my cable, I can't watch the games on my phone unless I'm on my home Wi-Fi. Don't know.
What?
Don't know. I don't know why a national.
Whose idea is that?
I could watch Family Guy all day, but I can't watch I can't watch the game on YouTube. During the regular season, I can watch any game on YouTube, but on Xfinity, my phone, I cannot watch the national broadcast games on network television on my phone.
All right.
So, I was watching the game cast, and it was so dumb. Like, kickoff, Jacksonville 51.8% chance of winning. Then they punt. Buffalo's got a 51.8% of winning. Like, why is that constantly running? And it's as big as anything else on the screen, the win probability. I don't like that at all.
I wonder if it has anything to do with in-game betting. Gee, I can't imagine that they would do
then
something
just show
so
a real
obvious.
live money line. Like, now I got to figure out what the win probability means to the money line moving.
Well, they don't want to be obvious about it. It's not all about the money, Fred.
So they're assuming we are all these math majors that can read, that have expertise in the handicapping.
Sure.
We can take that percentage and turn it into a real, number.
Yes.
Okay, very good. It's just win probability is the dumbest thing in the history of the world. I get it. I see the score and where the ball is. I have a fairly good read on the chances of winning the game. You know, when Buffalo's down 21-0 against the Patriots, I realize there's a real good shot that the Patriots win the game, but there's a chance Buffalo could come back.
Yeah, it's not zero.
And with each successive touchdown, I realize that chance gets greater and greater.
Yeah.
I just hate it. And they do, though, Hardy, based on the favorite, that does affect the number because, like if a team is like highly favored, their winning percentage is not 51.8%. It's higher.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so it's not based entirely on what's on the field.
You know, if there's an obviously better team, they might have a better percentage chance of winning the game.
That is, they factor that in, and I would almost prefer they didn't do that. Like I don't know. It's just. And then why do you look at it? Well, no, if you're looking at a game cast, there's the field and then the number to the right bottom of the field. Standing alone is win probability. It's as big as anything else on that screen.
Yeah, you can see it easier than how many timeouts are left.
Sure. Exactly, 1,000%. Other than the score in the field, it's what it and
that is why the way the different broadcasts do the different things that you want and need to know while watching a game. And there is some, you flip from CBS over to Fox. I'm like, oh, hold on a second. I got to readjust my brain to figure out how many timeouts I got left here in the half.
Well, you got to be different. You got to present it differently.
Well, I'm sure
it's important.
I'm sure everyone
Tom Brady needs a different readout.
I'm sure everyone thinks they're doing it the best way. Each of the networks. All right, so we're going to get obviously a lot into the Patriots game this Sunday as they'll host the Houston Texans. Spears is going to be here with us. McDaniel spoke yesterday, and we got a lot of that to get to.
Now the TV is showing predictions, and no one's picking against the Patriots. Eh?
What was the real quick before we go to break? What was the original line? Patriots-Texans, was it 3.5?
3.
It was 3?
I think it was 3.
I looked it up this morning. It's 3. I thought it had moved, but it hasn't. All right.
I think it was 3. I do believe it was 3, but what do I know? All right, so we'll be back with Burt Breer in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
practice yesterday with 3 days and counting now until a home playoff game against Houston. Christian Gonzalez also swapped his non-contact red uniform for a normal one. He was listed as a full participant along with defensive lineman Kairos Tonga. Texans are missing Top Gun Nico Collins, who missed his second straight practice with his bad concussion. The Bruins swept their 5-game homestand last night, care of a 4-2 win over Seattle at TD Garden. Jeremy Swayman made 26 saves in net and was inspired to do so after seeing Zdeno Chara have his number retired before the game.
It gave me goosebumps during the ceremony. It's a dream of mine, to be a part of this historic program for my whole career. But you got to stay in the moment, and I think that's what we learn most from a guy like Big Z is how he stayed in the moment, earned it every day, and did it the right way. So it's exactly who I want to be, and everyone in here wants to be. So we have a great leader and role model to follow.
David Pastrnak added his 20th goal of the season in the win. The Bruins' next game is in Chicago tomorrow night. Celtics avoided a third straight loss. They won in Miami 119-114. Anthony Simons rode to the rescue in this one, 39 points off the bench. Celtics came back from down 18 points early. They play in Atlanta tomorrow night. And in baseball news, the Dodgers have signed free agent outfielder Kyle Tucker. It's a 4-year, $240 million contract. And both Alex Bregman and Clayton Kershaw were added to the U.S. roster for this spring's World Baseball Classic. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Rodenizer Home Services. You could win a new high-efficiency gas furnace from Rodenizer if your furnace is 10 years or older, outdated, and unreliable. Go to Rodenizer.com/5 free furnaces to enter. That's Rodenizer.com/5 free furnaces. No purchase necessary. Rules online. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
You actually coaching the game?
So strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
The Sports Fred describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Dutcher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
I know to protect myself and try to be good. So I think I scrambled a couple times last year, and there's since then you kind of seen some of those guys on tape just take some guys out of the game, and even their corners, Ford and Lassiter, those guys are good players in the run game. And
his personality, don't get it mistaken. I think that Drake Maye's personality is a dream. Like he seems like it just. Like his brothers buzz his balls. He's got a wife he's been with since 7th grade. Like he seems like just like a great kid. Mm-hmm. Couldn't be more boring. I think that's all for football purposes and his marketing purposes. I think it's all fantastic. If I was his agent, I'd be over the moon. But I can't listen to him talk for more than 10 seconds, which is good. Believe me, it's good. It's not an insult.
He's legitimately a really good guy. Like, I got to know him a little bit before the draft.
Okay.
And so, I did a couple things with him, and the most genuine, like, down to earth, like, it's all real.
Yeah, you can tell he's from like a good family. Like you can tell that he was raised right. And
the dad had like somebody like that would become a big star and would be at risk to becoming a jerk and everything else, and his brothers made sure that didn't happen.
So it's like the anti-Gronkowski, where the dad was just kind of and the dad has made fun of himself about it on Family Guy. Like he just drifted off all the ass that was coming their way. which
that would be weird when you would see like one, like, and a lot of times like Rob would be playing in the Super Bowl, but you'd see his brothers at some event, and picking up chicks, and the dad is there.
Yeah, Chris was close by.
Well, I did an event with Chris at the Capitol Grill, and like we were guest bartending. I was for charity, and they asked me to do it, so it wasn't like a paid gig, and I might as well have not been there. It was Chris Gronkowski, which out of all of them had the least amount of even collegiate success in sports. I believe
he had the best personality, though, didn't he? Of all of them,
sure.
I don't know.
I mean, he was a nice enough guy.
Yeah, he was like a tight end at Kansas State or something. I remember.
No, he was a fullback.
Was it a fullback?
Chris was like a fullback at Arizona.
No, one of the baseball one. The guy on was
baseball. He's like
baseball
tall
one.
and skinnier, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, they're all. Yeah, he wasn't like a tremendous. He was in shape and like a good-looking guy, but he wasn't like He wasn't like one of the big
So you're talking
guy.
about the oldest one because I think Chris is the fullback who was.
Okay, no, then it was the oldest one.
The oldest one, I can't remember his name, but yeah, he was a baseball player.
Yeah, he was the I mean, he was obviously good enough to play college baseball, which is a feat, but he was not one of the biggest ones. But yeah, they draft. I mean, you can say it because Family Guy did an episode with the real Gronkowskis, and one of the jokes that was consistent through it was that the dad was getting laid based on the popularity of his son, which I've had a friend who's done that with his dad. I told you when I was in college.
So weird.
So my friend was a year younger than me, and he graduated high school, and his dad had moved out to Vegas to become a professional gambler. And there's this video he showed us, and it's his. My son couldn't understand it, but maybe you guys could because it's pretty self-explanatory. So video starts. It's the dad and a woman walking through the hall of a hotel, and the woman takes her key and she opens up the hotel door.
Sure.
And in bed is her friend, and she's under the covers, and she's like, "Hi," and they're like, "Hi, what are you up to?" And my friend, who's 18, pops out from under the covers because he had spent the night in the woman's room while his dad was in another room with her friend. And I always found that to be like
weird.
It was the greatest at the time. It was like, kid, my God, listen, good for you. Like you bang some lady like in her 50s. You're 18 years old. Like this is quite exciting. But
for the kid, well, I don't know. It's just kind of weird all the way around.
Well, we called him kid. He wasn't really. He was 18, but like we called his.
No, but that is a
was
kid in relative terms.
Yeah, he had a lot of older brothers, so we called him kid. Yeah. But I just put myself in that scenario as the father or the son, and it seems like if my son and I go on vacation, and like I don't see myself meeting a woman on vacation and going like, Milo, like she's got her friend. Why don't you go to her room and bang her? And like at any age, like and going like even if my in 10 years when my son's like in his late 20s and I'm 60. I can't see myself going like, hey, huh? Let's go pick up chicks.
Yeah. I think like when my sons are that age, I wouldn't want to see it. I would like, hey guys, go have fun. You know what I mean? Like
what you're doing has nothing to do with what I'm doing.
Right,
Let's
guys, I'll go have
ne'er
fun.
the twain shall meet.
I just think it's a good idea, like while on vacation or in general, not to mix the two. Now, I've my kids have dated, and I've met the people that they've dated, and that's fine. But I don't know if we need to be going out and hunting together.
You're saying if your son starts dating an attractive girl, you wouldn't ask him, she got a mom who's single?
Yeah, not seriously, no. I would not do that. Bird Breer is the senior NFL reporter and lead content strategist for the MMQB. Bert is brought to you by Robinhood. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Okay, so I saw a video of this yesterday, Bert, and I was talking to John about it off the air. You were on the midday show, and the video was great. It was a collection of phone calls. Mad at Zolak too.
They were all consecutive too.
It's so funny. Like, so people were crapping on Zolak, not Homer enough. So, like, for some reason, whatever you guys had talked about earlier had gotten the segment of the Patriots fans that are angry. I talked to John about this off air. In seriousness, I've been here 20 years. I still marvel at it. I've never seen another fan base do this. The more success that this team has, the more
sensitive.
But sensitive about what? What did you guys say?
I was sensitive about. So one of them, I said at the beginning of at the beginning of my spot that the Texans defense has a chance to be historic. And I used an anecdote from doing my all-pro ballot where, call all the coaches and the scouts. And I said 7 of the 11 guys on defense got all-pro mention. I think that's pretty remarkable, right?
Yes.
Like how exclusive all-pro is that 7 guys would get mentioned.
There's no question.
Is off the charts. Just trying to illustrate how good the defense is. So this guy calls in, and he's all pissed off. He's like, well, 7 guys. Like, well, who on offense? I didn't say anybody on offense.
Yeah, no.
Nobody. That's
who
the
on
point.
offense?
No. The point of the conversation was their defense is really good. Out of the 11 guys, 7 of them got all pro mentions on one side of the ball. That's the thing, right?
Yes.
Like that's the interesting tidbit. Not that there's 7 all pro mentions on the team.
So, like, this is when you know the sensitivity. This is how you know the Patriots are back, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense.
No, but they're not just
it doesn't
sensitive
make sense.
about you saying anything negative about their team. They're also sensitive about you saying anything positive about the opponent.
Yeah, and here's the thing. As an older Patriots fan, the worst thing is younger Patriots fans, which is what you were dealing with yesterday. And if you compare it to
these guys sounded pretty grizzled.
Okay, fine. That's even worse. That's even worse. The worst thing about being a Patriot fan is other Patriots fans. I've said this multiple times on the air, but compared to the other fan bases, Bert, even when the Red Sox started winning, Red Sox fans weren't like this. And the Celtics fans, when they were rolling in the 80s, weren't like this.
My experience growing up here, like, Red Sox fans were sky is falling at all times.
Exactly.
It's almost too much with Red Sox fans. I'll tell you, I told John this off air. I lived in Atlanta for 8 years, and Bulldog football is it, right? That's the biggest thing. They crapped all over that team all the time. Like, even those dumb hicks, like, crapped all over that team.
Where I went to school at Ohio State, Kirk Herbstreit, who's one of the most famous alums, got on TV during a playoff game and talked about our lunatic fringe and how, like, the fan base is completely so negative and so awful, and the coaches and players are poisoned by it. And it's weird because we're in this market that I think has a reputation for being critical and tough, and yet with this team, the fan base is so defensive over.
I don't understand.
It's just the old midday show at WFAN were big homers for the Jets, and I couldn't stand listening to it. I just couldn't stand listening to it. I didn't like it. I didn't find it entertaining.
And I think for the Patriots fans who really want this to be the season, and maybe they do recognize some of the more nuanced aspects of it, like, you know, you can't take it for granted. You can't just expect that you'll be able to do it again next year. They understand all that. When they sense something about to happen here on Sunday, which is they are facing the first truly superlative unit that they faced all season.
Maybe the best unit left in the playoffs.
So they played Josh Allen a couple of times, and I know you're a big Josh Allen fan, and we've talked with Andrew Callahan about it too. It's like he's really, really good, but as an offensive unit, there are issues with the Bills. And I'm not saying that the Texans are a better team, but their defense as a whole, and those 11 guys that they're going to start, and the guys that are going to sub in and out, they're better than anything you've faced all year, including Josh Allen,
anything
just as that
Drake
singular
Maye
thing
has faced in his career.
Right. And so Patriots fans, they get a sense, whether it's impending doom or the first real danger that they're going to face, and they get their hackles up and they start yelling at you for pointing out some really good points and some obvious points that you're. This isn't opinion.
I'm trying to give
7 of 11 of them we get an all-pro mentions.
I'm trying to give you insight into how the rest of the NFL sees them.
Yeah.
Well, you just gave a fact. You talked to people, and this is what they said.
That's just your opinion.
Yeah, Bert, you suck.
It's like when they get sensitive over the strength of schedule thing.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, that's just a fact. Yeah. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
but they're scared. If there's anything that's going to scare you this whole season, this is it.
Yeah.
This
It's
is
funny,
scary.
though, because everyone's picking the Patriots. I know you didn't, right? You didn't.
I picked the Texans.
Okay,
yeah.
so you picked the Texans.
Oh, look out. Here come the calls.
Yeah.
Well,
here they come.
Again,
Load 'em up.
I mean, if
it's a weird
If you
dynamic.
disagree with Bert, bet against Bert. I mean, Bert's opinion of it is not going to reflect the outcome of the game.
I'm not very good at predictions, so it's probably good.
Oh,
for
good at
Patriots
it.
that-
I'm
just
terrible.
say you like Houston and just
Oh,
put
no,
a period on
I-
the end of
I
that.
have no- like,
Don't put a qualifier on it.
I'm usually not good at predictions. I will say this year my playoff bracket is 6 for 6, so I'm sticking with all of my
There
picks
you go.
from here on
Fine.
out
Great.
until I lose one.
Yeah. Well, listen, you're far better than me, who was about 1 for 500 during the NFL season this year. The only bets I gave 3 bets on the air and they all hit. Those are the only ones I've won all year. Really, literally 3 football bets. I've stopped betting completely.
It was funny because I got like what I would call probably like a fake fight with Phil on TV the other day.
I got in a very real one with him yesterday.
Yeah,
knockdown, drag out.
I think I heard a little bit of that.
No,
like
it
I
was
was that the one
inexcusable.
over punk rock?
It wasn't just about
I
that.
have heard of Minor Threat, by the way. I haven't listened to them, but I have heard of Minor
lived in
Threat.
D.C. There's
I lived
no
in
excuse.
I have heard of Fugazi too.
Well, if you
And
have,
I'm
then
not.
there's really no excuse.
I was 100%.
That's 100%
I was
true.
100% on Phil's side on that yesterday, and I just kind of said, I'm like, he doesn't need me to defend him. But the fact that Bert's heard of both.
That puts a new light on
moves
this
the
thing.
needle
I'm
a little
older,
away
though.
from Phil.
In Phil's defense, I'm a little older. Fred's just
No, you have to be up the age.
He was genuinely upset
All right.
yesterday.
Just to
because he
pivot
brought
very,
up Nirvana, and then you said Nirvana was
very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Oh no.
All of
what time is it?
I hate. First of all, Phil's going to turn 40, so he's no kid. The notion that because something happened before you were of a certain age, you shouldn't know about it. It's ludicrous. Like, Minor Threat came out in 82. I was 7 years old. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I mean, a lot of things that it's just a curiosity that doesn't exist in people that I find fascinating. Now, if he goes like, I'm not a huge music fan, or if he's John, who's like, I loved New Jack Swing and I went to school in upstate New York, I don't expect him to know anything about these things. But if you were a musician in a city that pretty much is completely, I'm not going to get into this again, but it is completely surrounded in the whole culture is the biggest thing in that culture is out of this one place. The idea that you've never even heard of the 930 Club. And then he looked it up and he goes, oh, that's the street I used to hang out on. And it's like, well, that's where like the Foo Fighters played. Like, I mean, this is not some underground phenomenon. Admit when he didn't know the 930 Club, you had to go, okay. Like, all right, dude. Like, that was on the street you hung out on.
It wasn't, it's not like the 930 Club closed before he was in school. They're still open.
Well, and it's also not like a shack. Like, that's like First Avenue in Minneapolis. Like you know First. You live in Minneapolis. You might never even gone to First Avenue, but you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's
going to be you and not knowing about the Paradise.
Right.
Yes.
The Paradise
that's absolutely right. Yes.
Right. The Middle East, like, just that these
Middle East,
these places existed.
Yeah.
Like, that certain bands came from here. It's just bothersome. Like, it's just bothersome.
That steam was coming off of his head yesterday.
It was more the way he was arguing with me.
No, I understand why, and I'm just painting the picture here for Bert.
So anyway, we had this big argument over whether they're playing with house money, which I think they have been for a couple weeks, but that was just my opinion.
Well, I mean, the notion that the season's a disaster. If they now look,
that's the conversation that is really starting to bore me. Like, I don't, and I'm not yelling at you, but the whole notion that like, well, we should still be happy. Of course, they won 14 games. Yeah. They're
we were in house money in November.
One win away from going to the conference championship. That's granted, but that's accepted. We all feel that way. Period. Stop.
After we had that argument, I kind of realized that, like, when we talked through it, I realized what the difference is, which is I'm comparing them to everybody else, and I think people here are looking very narrowly at them and at the next couple of days. I'm looking at and I'm saying, like, hey, if the Packers losing sucks for them because Mike, this is the year they traded for Micah Parsons and he got hurt. Like the Bills, like if they lose, that's a huge, huge problem, right? Like, and
it's
they're just not in that
fields wide
category.
open, and
they're not in that category right now.
Yeah.
And it's like I think Chicago, New England, Carolina, there's one other one. Those teams are playing Jacksonville. Those teams, those teams are playing with house money.
Denver's
too.
the one seed. They
one
beat the
seed.
Bills.
Denver's
no one expected
little-
him to do this.
No, but
people expected a number one
there were
seed this year.
expectations in Denver.
No, more than I did
Sean
that the
Payton-
Patriots get the 2
Sean
seed.
Payton was openly talking about going to the Super Bowl in August.
That I don't remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
but so they're I think they're a year ahead of you. I think they are now. Denver is now where you would be next year if you follow up.
The difference is the superior quarterback. But look, we'll break.
I'm
but
just saying as far as
I
expectations and
listen.
all that.
It's going to be very disappointing if they lose on Sunday. But I don't think that with Hardy, I don't think there's a debate that when you do a post-mortem on the season, you don't look at it in the macro sense and go like, Jesus, this went really well. And then my concern is, okay, well, now we've set a precedent that we have to live up to, and we'll see how that goes. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, if you've been injured in a car accident at work, in a slip or fall,
acceptance, respite, and care.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
I'm very appreciative of not only Zach, but every coach here. They put a lot of time in. It means a lot to them, and they want to give their players the best opportunity.
I didn't listen to
Rainbow did Stone
WRAF.
Cold. Somebody help me out here.
But you didn't listen to it or like it, but you still somehow celebrate it, and you have a knowledge of it.
Of Triumph?
Just the Hesherish stuff, yeah.
I'm fascinated by it because I was a kid that grew up right by the high school in, suburban Detroit, Hot Rod Hesher. Like, I saw them from a distance, and they always fascinated me because I never lived in that world. By the time I got old enough, that had kind of gone away. So I am, dragging down M59. I am kind of interested in what was going down. But Bert's here from MMQB. Tim, go ahead. You got a question for Bert.
Bert, Carlton Davis, not too impressed with, the acquisition itself in his play. Was he touted as a big defensive back? Because, as a Patriots fan, you've been spoiled by, decent defensive backs. I never see him, breaking on the ball. Is he hurt, or how do you feel about his performance?
I mean, I think when he was at his best, he was probably like a low-end 1, high-end 2. And in Tampa, there were bursts where he was really played like a real number 1 corner. They wound up paying him. He took less money to stay there. And I remember hearing that he sort of regretted that. They traded him to Detroit, and he had the year in Detroit. And so, there were, I think, questions about his motivation at the end in Tampa. He has a good year in Detroit, and I just think it sort of is who he is, and that's what it costs for a number 2 corner now. The other guys that were on the market with him, Paulson Adebo, who went to the Giants, Byron Murphy, who re-signed in Minnesota, those guys were all getting around what Carlton Davis got.
Yeah. How have you felt about his play this year?
I think he's a really good number 2. I think if he's your second corner, I wouldn't, he's not what Houston has in their number 2 corner. Kamari Lassiter's a better player, but as far as just having a veteran presence out there as your number 2 corner, he's older, so relatively soon you're probably going to draft somebody to replace him opposite Christian Gonzalez, but he's a really good number 2.
All right. Jason has a question. Jason, go ahead.
Bert, do you think maybe that in hindsight, the Pats should have made a move at the deadline, considering they just picked up the D-end from the Texans, back when you were saying, they're not going to go anywhere. You got the Chiefs are going to right the ship. The Bengals are going to right the ship. The Ravens will be there.
So you're trying to hold me accountable for everything that I said, which is fair.
You've been doing it all year, Bert. You've been downplaying. They're not going anywhere. They're not going to win anything. You've been saying it all year.
Wait, what do you? I don't. For us that aren't Bert or you, what are you? What's the? I'm not even judging you. What are you getting at?
Well, all season long, the Pats have been on a roll, obviously, and Bert's been they're not going to go anywhere. I just don't see it. They should make a deal at the deadline. Because these other teams they're going to get back. They're going to right the ship. He's like, the Chiefs are going to do it. The Ravens will be there. Burrow's going to come back. He's like, it's not worth making a trade at the deadline.
All right, so you feel that the Patriots made a mistake by not making a deal at the deadline?
They shouldn't. I feel it was the team, not the staff, the coaches, and the owners not believing the team. They should have made a move.
So
that's fair.
What?
No, look, that's all fair.
Maybe they should have gotten an edge
That's
rusher.
all fair. The Ravens had a quarterback injury. The Bengals had a quarterback injury. They didn't quite make it into the tournament. I think both those teams would have been dangerous if they gotten in, but they didn't make it in. So the way I would look at this is, I think there's an opportunity here to build a sustainable team, and I looked at it at the deadline as there are too many holes from a depth perspective where you're going to make one move and it's going to shore up every issue that you have, because I still think they do have they do have some issues in the roster. Now, that said, I think the personnel department did a dynamite job in free agency of fixing as many of those holes as they can. But when people were saying like, oh yeah, bring in this depth piece or that depth piece, I look at it like those draft picks are still really valuable. And you're still not there from a roster perspective. So yes, it looks like you've caught something the way Washington caught something last year. Washington went all in, and I don't mind the move to go all in. God, my computer's acting up. Washington made the move to go all in the way they made moves to go all in the way they went all in, and now they have no draft picks left, and their team is getting older. And so, like, I actually agreed with their move to be more conservative at the deadline because I did not think that it was time for them to go all in on the team that they had.
You mentioned the Commanders, and since we're on that subject, how did that organization spin into a ditch the way they have?
Yeah,
Everything.
both their coordinators, yeah.
I mean, not only that. I mean, all the reporting out of the Athletic and other people said that the front office is a dumpster fire. Even before they fired all these people,
well, even last year during
the big problem
during their good season.
During their good season, apparently things are really bad there.
So this is like what happens when you start losing, but I think so. I think like the temptation, again, when you catch lightning in a bottle like that, is to get overly aggressive. And I think they did exactly the same thing the Patriots did during the 24 offseason. They mined connections on their coaching staff to go and find people, go and find veterans that could fix holes in the short term, which is what the Patriots have done, right? Like guys like Spillane and Landry, and like these aren't long-term answers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Spillane.
These aren't long-term answers, right?
Sure.
Carlton Davis, Steph Diggs, and they did a great job. Washington did a great job with that. Then in mid-season, they traded for Marshawn Lattimore, who was breaking down physically, right? Then they trade for Deebo Samuel. Then they trade for Laramie Tunsil. And now all of a sudden, they've got all of these free agents that they brought in the year before. Well, those guys are all getting older, and you don't have the pipeline of young talent behind that to build the roster up the way that you're going to need to. So on paper, it made sense because you're taking advantage of the quarterback being on the rookie contract, but you're giving up any capital that you have to get younger, to develop players behind the older players that you acquired. And I think that's the spot the Patriots are going to be in a year or two. The team's going to, there are key aspects of the team right now that are going to age out. Mac Hollins and Steph Diggs at receiver. Do they have long-term answers at receiver? How do you view Kyle Williams? At defensive end, right? They're relying on Caleb Chase and Harold Landry, and are those long-term answers? That's a premium position. It's a hard position to fill. Is Spillane a long-term answer at linebacker?
Yes.
What are you going to do about Christian Gonzalez, right?
Sign him.
And you sign him.
Give him
okay.
a lot of money.
You sign him, okay? Like you give him a lot of money, but now you need draft pick because you're probably not going to pay two guys.
And as you
So
said
now you
many
need a draft pick
times,
opposite him.
that's the reason. You had veterans age out, their contracts disappear, but you had young guys to back them up and step in.
Right.
And that's where it's step one of 20,
right?
To draft and develop and re-sign,
right?
On an assembly line. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and I don't think I think it's smart team building. And I don't think Elliott Wolf and Ryden Cowden and those guys get the credit that they deserve for hitting. I mean, Kairos Tonga, the story I got on Kairos Tonga, all right, his agent, they signed him on the first day of free agency. His agent's reaction was, what are you guys why are you guys signing him this fast? Because they legitimately thought he was going to be somebody who's going to sit on the market for a week, and but the Patriots aggressively went after him. It was a low money deal, but they aggressively went after him and got him on the first day. Craig Woodson's another one that they drafted where they had conviction on him, and they weren't surprised when he became a starter. So I think that there are a bunch of these sorts of things that they've gotten right. And I do think it's part of a bigger plan where it's these are the answers for now, but we got to make sure that we've got younger players coming up behind them. And again, I don't think they're in that position where it's just chips to the middle of the table, to hell with everything else. We're going to build. Look at the amount of draft picks the Commanders have for this coming year.
How many do they have?
It's 5.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Right? So it's again, it sounds good in the moment when you're going through the sugar high of it all. But if you lose to Houston on Sunday, and now all of a sudden you gave up 4 draft picks at the trade deadline.
Well, look at Indianapolis.
Sure.
I mean, do you think Indianapolis is happy that they gave up 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner?
Yeah. Right.
No.
Like the Jets look pretty smart now.
Well,
that
let's
season
not
was
go.
but that season was going
No,
nowhere.
I know. I don't want to give them too much credit because, like, you suck. So great, you gave up stuff.
But you
like,
need capital to stop sucking.
I know, but what I'm more, it's an indictment on Indianapolis than it is a praising of the Jets. Is that Indianapolis said we're here, let's go all in. And they might even be in a different place than the Patriots. Not a better place, a different place. A much worse place than the Patriots, where they felt they needed to go all in. They gave up 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. They don't make the playoffs.
And now you're stuck with Daniel Jones.
And by the way,
well, they were going to be stuck with them anyway. But now you don't have any picks.
Right.
Vrabel was part of a team that got old. That's the other thing. Like in Tennessee, they sort of let that team get old. Mm-hmm. And, your Kevin Byards, your Ryan Tannehills, like, they and they wound up hitting rock bottom, I think that there is that, and they didn't at the end do a great job of drafting and developing, and those guys I think I would say are probably marked by that experience of going through that and knowing what that looks like. And so the value of draft picks is, and it's not just, and what you can't do, what drives me crazy is when people go in and look like one for one. Well, this is who you got in the second round. You have to have a lot of swings at it.
Right. They're all tickets, and then the more tickets you have, the more chances
no
you
one
have
hits
to hit.
no one hits on all of them.
And especially when you've got your quarterback.
Right.
Like when you've got your quarterback, then you're in that position where you're filling things out. Like you have the most important position taken care of, and now you're kind of filling things out.
Like, for example, the Ravens, who I think are a player development powerhouse. If you look at the players that have come through there over the years and who they've been able to develop, and their draft track record, and how it's pretty constant that there's 6 or 7 players that are the highest paid players in the team that were drafted by them. Every year they've got 12 picks because they play the comp pick formula, and they hold on to their picks. And that's a team that legitimately has been in a position to compete for a championship for an extended period of time.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more Bert Breer. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headline.
$98.5 will win a pair of tickets to see Triumph at the Leader Bank Pavilion on June 4th. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. We are Toucher and Artie. Bert Greer is here, and I got to tell you, a story came out that I was very surprised by when Tomlin quit the Steelers job. Did you hear the story that Aaron Rodgers was in tears and was like taking the blame for it?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The one guy that still believes in me.
No, but now you made it a negative, but I look at it as like very surprising, like with all the hubris and like the stuff around Rodgers, that he, at his age, like took that as a failure on his part. I'll give him a lot of credit for that. Like it was very surprising to me. I would have assumed he was gone and was just like, screw it, like I got nothing to do with this anymore.
Well, Tomlin was the reason he went there, and I think that was it was sort of one of those like a pact.
Well, the Steelers did come out after, and they said, "Do you think?" They went to Rooney and they said, "Do you think that Aaron Rodgers will be back?" And he goes, and Rooney was like, "Well, they're a package deal, so no." And I think that was a nice way of saying, no, he's not going to be our quarterback anymore. But I was really shocked that Aaron Rodgers like took that kind of accountability and took it that hard. John immediately leans negative towards it. I thought it was a
nice
showed a bit of character that I didn't know existed.
As is his want. That's John.
Well, let's do a Bert Blast on this. We haven't done Bert Blast in a while.
I don't have anything else.
Okay, good. Bert Blast. I love doing this. Well, Bert, does Aaron Rodgers play for another team next season?
No.
Yeah.
Bert Blast.
Thank you for incorporating the boom, guys. My son just sent me a video of the son eating that they put up.
Oh, nice.
He's eating, and that's the whole thing. Is he's eating a tremendous amount of food. He's under 18, and the video is him eating.
I want to ask you about like the coaching vacancies in general. There's 9 of them right now.
Yep.
Which seems like a lot,
Well,
but
eight.
Because Harbaugh did, and then
right.
the Giants. Okay, but generally, and this seems, I went and looked it up. It's like, there's always like 5, and generally the number is like 7. Just if you average
7
it
or
out.
8 is like a normal.
Yeah, so it's kind of right in there. What I think is interesting though is the way Miami handled it, which seems to be, and we were talking about this before. They saw that Harbaugh was available, and where everyone thought Mike McDaniel was going to be sticking around, all of a sudden he's gone the next day, presumably so they could be in on the Harbaugh thing. Didn't even get the interview.
Right.
He interviewed with Atlanta remotely. Tennessee was scheduled for yesterday. That didn't happen, and he's gone. So are there any teams out there right now, do you think specifically with Miami, are rethinking their decision to let go of their head coach?
No, I think so. I think what you're talking about is really valid because
I'm being validated by
the
Bert
last
right now.
couple.
Listen.
No, but the last
Happy
couple
birthday
weeks,
to you.
The last couple weeks of the season, what I kept hearing was some teams are sort of looking at it and saying, and it's like I've said to you guys before, there was no obvious like big fish like that was apparent 2 weeks ago when we didn't know whether or not Harbaugh was going to be back. We didn't know whether or not Tomlin was going to be back. It was like there was no Ben Johnson. There was no Mike Vrabel like there were last year. And then Stefanski got fired. And then Harbaugh got fired. And Tomlin's not going to coach next year, I don't think, but
There'd have to be draft pick compensation
right.
as well.
Like, so like you have like these different, you have like kind of these moving parts now where the market looked different. And I think that was part of Miami's thinking was, is there a good option out there for us? And as they were going through their general manager hiring process, I think they did ask questions about, like, how do you see the coaching position here? And that influenced them a little bit. And, okay, maybe the options out there are a little bit better than we initially thought. And so it gave them the chance to hit a more full reset. The other thing is, I think financial considerations aren't what they used to be with these. Like, the amount of money that the owners are clearing without even lifting a finger, and you can see it every year in the Packers financial report because that's the one that becomes public, right? Where it's like just the national revenue. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know what the exact number is, but like maybe $150 million in revenue with like per team without you even lifting a finger to make any local revenue. Like that's why you see more one and dones now. That's why you see more teams that are willing to pull the plug because, I mean, at one point I think Jimmy Haslam was paying like 4 different staffs.
Well, he's got that Flying J money.
He may still be paying 4 staffs.
He's got truck stop money.
I mean,
seriously.
staffs. Matt
seriously,
Rule, but that's what it is. Like Matt Rule, I believe, is still under contract with the Panthers. Wow. He's in he's in his third year.
Not Flying J money. My bad.
He's after like Matt Rule. So he signed a 7-year deal in 2020. Next year will be the last year of his contract with the Panthers.
Wait, Haslam's the owner of who?
He's been the
Haslam's the owner of the.
This is different.
Oh, the Browns. Okay,
Tepper
yeah. So it was Flying J money.
It was. You were right. You were right, but. Like I think that's a factor too, where like before money was a deterrent,
right?
Yeah. Now it's a non-factor.
Yeah, it's just
You know, now it's just kind of like the cost of doing business, and I don't
extra $15 million a year. Like, no big deal.
It's like
again, like so David Tepper is still paying Rule, I believe, still paying Frank Reich.
Oh, is he really?
And Dave Canales is in his 2nd year. Right.
And what a good owner he is too. All right.
So I mean, Mike Vrabel now, like part of this is cut, but like Mike Vrabel, I believe, was signed through 27 or 28. Like John Robinson is still getting paid, who was his general manager, who got fired in 2022. I think still has a year left on his contract in Tennessee as the general manager. Vrabel, I believe, was extended through 27 or 28.
But when he takes the other job, that contract becomes void. Correct?
Right, with offsets and everything else. It's like you can pay them. So,
all right, look, we do have to break. But, Bert, thank you. Bert, very brave picking the Texans. You were the only one so far who has done so. So we'll see how this plays out when you come on Friday.
That has nothing to do with where we're sitting, right? Like what state we're sitting in.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how that all works out for you, stupid. All right, very good. Bert, thanks for coming in.
Bert, blast.
When we come back, the real party begins because it is my birthday.
Happy birthday, Fred.
Thank you. And
I didn't even have a chance to say it.
Yeah, well.
Oh, you had plenty of chances. You just didn't feel.
I just waited 56 minutes.
You had full knowledge when you sat down.
We will be back with all of the big celebration in just a moment.
More.
He and formerly injured defensive lineman Kairos Tonga were both listed as full participants. Another story of this game is that Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels will be opposing his brother. He's on the Houston offensive staff.
One of us will lose and one of us will win. And so we know that going into the game, and I'm going to do everything in my power that I can do in my role to help us win, and I'm sure he's going to do the same.
Houston wide receiver Nico Collins missed another practice yesterday and looks to be a long shot to face the Patriots. In hockey news, the Bruins swept their 5-game homestand last night, carried a 4-2 win over Seattle at TD Garden. David Pastrnak a goal. Before the game, the Bruins retired Zdeno Chara as number 33. Celtics won in Miami, 119-114. Anthony Simons had himself a night. He scored a game-high 39 points off the bench. The Green will play in Atlanta tomorrow night. And in baseball news, the Dodgers continue to spend more than anybody else. Late last night, they signed former Houston and Chicago All-Star outfielder Kyle Tucker. It's a 4-year, $240 million contract. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by 128 Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric, the company that finishes every job strong. If your home or business has a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, or drain issue that can't wait, you need to call 128 now at 888-CALL-128. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Maye is under center, offset up.
Drake Maye.
Throws down Drake rolls well, wrecking traffic. Off balance, through it, the end zone. Caught by the pass is going to be.
Drake Maye plays on one station in Boston.
Here's another Drake Maye moment. Drake Maye.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
And we're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
It's not for me to say. It would be more for you to say.
It's your birthday.
But the big guys turned 51 today.
Yeah, happy birthday, Fred. I can't believe we have to devote a segment to this because as an only child, your mindset has not changed. You need to be celebrated and spotlighted, and things need to be done for you that don't need to be done for most people I know in my life. But this is the way. You can't help it. You were raised this way. You've been indulged and placated and enabled your entire life, and I view myself as part of the problem. Now, Adam 12 was the genesis behind all of this. It was his idea, and I told him time and time again when he would ask me, when he'd email me, questions and ideas about it, and my response was mostly what, Adam?
What? I haven't had a chance to look at that yet.
Or I don't care. I don't care what you do for Fred's birthday. I wish we didn't have
Adam.
to do anything.
You're a true friend. You know what's funny? I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and I was explaining going to the Super Bowl, and she goes, well, are they mad at you? Is Hardy mad at you about not going to the Super Bowl? And I'm like, isn't he mad at you? And I went, no. So when you say these things, even though there is a nugget of truth in what you're saying,
right?
These can be misconstrued. I just wanted you to know the Super Bowl thing was a little misconstrued by some people.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, that's anytime you talk about the Super Bowl in this job, you're like, dude, you're going to the Super Bowl?
No, just based on what you guys were saying by busting my balls about me not going to the Super Bowl, they were legitimately under the impression that you were angry and that you yourself wanted to go to the Super Bowl.
Going to the Super Bowl, though, is a whole different conversation, and maybe we'll have it during Super Bowl week, but people say, man, you're going to the Super Bowl? No, I'm going out on the Sunday night before the Super Bowl when we used to travel as a show, and I'll be flying home at about 11 a.m. the Friday before the game. That's what going to the Super Bowl means when you're working at the media. You don't go to the game unless you want to spend thousands of your own dollars to stay 2 more days and buy a ticket.
Very quickly, Rick, our boss, was like, I remember when you guys were in Arizona, he's like, you flew out on Monday after the show, and then when you got in there at 3:30 in the morning, you couldn't even open your eyes. You're in a better place now. And I go, I got news for you, Rick. I do the show today, and then I fly out to Arizona, and then wake up at 1 in the morning to go drive to a convention center. Yeah, I'm not going to be in great shape. That was there were a lot of things that were alcohol related. That one I'm not chalking up to. John can attest to this. These were not big party nights in around the Super Bowl. This was, if I get up at 4:45, do a show, go to the airport, fly to Arizona, get up at 1:30, legitimately 1:30
local time,
and then go drive. And he's like, and remember, Boomer was in good shape. Yeah, anyone who's that awake at that amount of I don't know who.
He's still got stuff coursing through his veins from his playing days.
Yeah, and also Boomer is at a luxury hotel 5 steps away
he's
from
also
the
flying
convention
private.
center.
But the thing is that like anyone who's that awake and it doesn't affect, I'm saying, which is more chemically related? Me being unable to open my eyes.
Yeah.
Because John, drinking problem, all these things, I did have it. John can tell you, these were not wild days of Freddie going crazy doing shots. Like, we weren't going out to eat, and I was like,
The best part of that was the lunch we had at Cooperstown. That was it.
Yeah, and that was no great shakes. The only thing was someone ordered the hot dog.
The restaurant dedicated to Alice Cooper.
So back to the birthday. I said, everyone do something for my birthday. And finally, my good friend Adam made it happen.
Right.
Because I've been on pins and needles.
Adam has come up with something where you're going to hear a voice, and this voice will be saying things. It will be your job, first of all, very easy, determine who the voice is, and what is it that this person is saying. Is that a good way to set it up?
It's a good way to set it up.
So I just play the clip all the way through.
Play clip 1, please. Yes.
Just I play it all the way through.
Yes, you can play it all the way through.
You can stop it if you need to, but...
All right, so it's kind of dealer's choice. All right.
Yeah, it's your birthday.
All right, here we go. About time. My birthday. Here we go.
Well, look who's having a birthday. Happy birthday, Freddie T. Remember how you always used to make fun of how old I was? Wow, you are getting up there, bro. By the way, I got an old story I'd like to share. Let's see if you can figure out where it's from.
Of course, this is Crash Clark.
Yes, very good.
All right, so let's hear what the story is.
And it'll be your job to figure out what this story is.
Okay.
Not too long ago, my friend got married and asked me to be the best man. It kind of made me sad because it meant that I was getting older and had one less friend to pick up female scraps from when we went out. This sick feeling stayed with me as I realized that no one was going to sleep with me at the rehearsal dinner. We debated whether we should stay up or just go to bed like the old men we were becoming. Then it happened. Like the Polish angel of bourbon, Uncle Mo came stumbling through the door. Uncle Mo is the 43-year-old uncle of the kid that was getting married. From the moment he entered our lives to the moment his 2 angry brothers had to pull him out, I learned a lot from Uncle Mo. Mainly, I learned that even old people can be cool if they are drunk enough. Well, guess what, Freddie T? You're old, and you're still not cool. Maybe next year. Have a wonderful birthday, my friend, and go Canes!
Wait, so I was the best man at that wedding.
Yes. So what is Crash? What is this story that Crash is telling? Where does it come from?
Well, he wasn't there. Uncle Mo is when my friend Jason got married.
How does he know this story?
That Uncle Mo... Uncle Mo, my friend Jason's uncle, got super
drunk. I'll give you a
drunk.
hint. He was reading this story word for word.
So he got it from my friend Jason?
No. He got it from you. Because we, thanks to a listener, Joe in Ireland, were able to unearth FredToucher.com. The blog.
The blog has been uncovered and found, and all the FredToucher.com blog posts are now available to us.
Yes. We will send you the link after the segment.
Okay.
That is your birthday gift is this listener was able to dig it out of the web archive and find, because you've referenced it on the show plenty of times and now it's gone now. Well, now it's been revived.
So these are things that
it's up on the internet again?
Yeah, you got to go and find it in the web archive, which is not easy to do,
because
so
the guy that ran that completely screwed me out of the whole I don't know, he stopped paying for it and the whole thing. All right. So very good.
All right. So now that we know what we are listening to, this next voice will read another story from the FredToucher.com blog. Once thought, lost to eternity, now rediscovered. And it will be your job to fill in the blanks or the bleeps with the details presumably a story from your own life.
Okay, because I did. Was a very good blogger, very well known for my blogging.
Happy birthday, Fred. It's your old pal Adolfo with another blog post from your past. I just got back from Kansas City where I saw my favorite team, the Jets, play the Chiefs. After starting to drink on a Saturday, the day quickly took a turn for the worse when our group went to a after
strip club,
telling a couple of strippers I was in the band
Interpol,
who was playing down the street. My pockets were dollars lighter, so I realized it was time to go home.
All right, so you got 2 of the 4 already. First of all, what time did you start drinking on that Saturday?
Like 11 or 12?
That would be 10 a.m.
Oh, okay.
The drinking started at 10 a.m. on that Saturday. And yes, you're correct. You decided to go to a strip club. You told one of the strippers you were in the band Interpol. And then after being out, how many dollars later you decided it was time to go home?
0, because I didn't pay for anything. No, once I told the girl I was in Interpol, I had the whole strip club around me, very excited that I was in the place.
According to the blog post on fredtoucher.com, you were $500 lighter in the pockets and then decided it was time to go home.
That sounds like I was being a little cute there. I will tell you this, is that on that trip to Kansas City, we met up with someone, and I've never felt better about myself the next day than based on what I did not partake in that evening, as I did not pay for sex or cocaine in that night. So I went to bed. So that actually was a good story for me. All right, here we go. Let's continue.
Happy birthday, Freddie T. It's Birdman. Happy 51st.
Thank you. Bird, not only not understanding the assignment,
nor did Adolfo.
I know, Adolfo said his name also.
Yeah, but also, I did my best to edit it out. Has some music going in the background.
Yeah, he's Porta Pines. There's always, listen, his parents are always listening to music.
It's Porch Party across the street.
No, he lives at home.
It's almost like he's got music from an app bleeding through on his phone while he's trying to record this. It's just a mess. Just
the only number I can relate, 51.
Huh?
I don't know.
Oh, something that I'm turning 51.
So, the only number I can relate, 51.
That's twice. No idea what he's saying.
The only number I can relate, 51.
No one rocking to relate, 51?
No, you're not really 51.
Wait, one last shot.
So, the only number I can relate, 51.
The only way I can relate.
The only number I can relate, 51.
There it is.
All right.
Oh,
yes.
Of course.
It only took 4 times.
Well, it also still doesn't make sense. Even when you say what he's saying, it doesn't make sense.
Not in a traditional English-speaking sense, no.
So you're saying it's translated from some kind of like...
bird.
Yeah, all right. John?
Step in.
Is with Area 51. Anywho, it's me, Bird, and another blog post from your past. A bunch of us DJs went over to, and of course, T was slamming down
Jaeger.
Because the hottie bartender was on my jock feeling me free ones. So we're all playing trivia, and the question comes up, what show was on? I said, but the answer came up. Now you mean to tell me that was never on? Not even once? I demand points. But when the quizmaster denied me,
I don't know. I'm not going to be able to make heads or tails of any of this. It's Bird.
Well, first of all, what restaurant did you go to?
It's a restaurant?
Yes, you went to a restaurant to play trivia. You and some DJs went over to where?
American Pie?
No. TGI Fridays, according to the FredToucher.com.
Oh, this
blog
is a. I'm being sarcastic in the blog post. I was trying to be funny.
Oh, so when you said you were slamming down free blanks, you were not You were not.
No,
being honest.
this is all like a sarcastic thing then.
Well, this was Alabama Slammers.
Yeah. Okay. So I was being a cutie pie.
This post was interesting. It read like proto dad boner.
Yeah.
Like,
So
yeah.
and by the way, this is before Dad Boner.
Yes, which is what I found impressive.
So
as
read
I
the
was going
post. I
through
want to
this.
hear the post because it's me trying to be funny.
A bunch of us DJs went over to TGI Fridays, and of course, T was slamming down free Alabama Slammers because the hottie bartender with the most pins was on my jock feeding me free once. So we're all playing trivia, and the question comes up, what show was Pat Morita on? I said Laverne and Shirley, but the answer came up Happy Days. Now, you mean to tell me that Mr. Miyagi was never on Laverne and Shirley? Not even once? I demanded points. But when the quizmaster denied me, I had to pull a Simon Le Bon on his ass. I threw the table over and left the joint.
I'll give myself a little credit for being a little humorous there.
All right, well,
all right.
Self-credit.
Yeah, and that's before Dad Boner, so I wasn't ripping them off. All
Do you
right.
want to get to the last one now?
Yeah.
Let's do clip 4 now, and then we can.
We'll save
the
one
other
for
ones
later,
there for later. Yes, but clip 4 is less of a quiz and more of just enjoying the ride.
All right, here we go.
What's up, Fred? It's Joe Murray.
Oh no, not that one. Is that clip 4?
No, that's clip 5.
Yeah, play clip 4, please.
All right, here's clip 4.
Hello, this is Al Cole from CBS Radio, reading Fred Toucher's holiday.
You don't work for CBS Radio.
He did.
He did many eons ago.
Yeah. It's like president. It's still President Clinton. It's President Bush. It's President Obama.
But I work for Beasley Radio. I did work for CBS Radio.
But if you ever work for CBS Radio,
it doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, very good. CBS doesn't have a radio division anymore. You are aware of that.
Bush is no longer the president, but he's still
But
President
there is still
Bush.
a president, and there's still the nation of the United States. CBS Radio doesn't exist as a corporation anymore.
I don't think that matters.
Okay.
Hello, this is Al Cole from CBS Radio, reading Fred Toucher's holiday party do's and don'ts from December of 2004. Do pass out drunk and have to be carried out of the party. It adds a certain after-school special vibe to the evening and means that one of your coworkers is probably getting laid.
So I'm copying Vice here. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
doing my
your
Gavin
fun
McGinnis
Vice. Yeah.
thing.
Oh,
Okay, I'm copying Vice. All right, here we go.
Oh. Don't attempt to win female coworkers' hearts with a stirring song on your acoustic guitar. In fact, if some James Taylor wannabe pulls this at your holiday party, you have a legal responsibility to kick them in the balls. Did I say that? Do have sex with coworkers. Yeah. We're not in 7th grade. Ladies, you're all grown up now and can have sex with whoever you want. As for being uncomfortable the next day at work,
I'm calling foul on Al reading this. I think it's coming off a little more.
What? I kind of like this.
I think it's coming off a little less sarcastic than it was. It was intended when I wrote it
It's a
25 years ago.
combination of copy and talent.
Conspiratorial tone is fantastic.
It's sounding a lot creepier than I believe I intended when I wrote it 25
together,
years ago.
and when we were handing out the assignments, hearing Al read it is the way I heard it in my mind when I read the blog post.
And it sounds very inappropriate when Al reads it, but I believe I was probably around 25 when I wrote this. This is all sarcastic. I can tell. I don't remember writing it, but I know it's sarcastic.
Maybe.
Al's making it sound very earnest.
Al is giving the alcohol treatment to it,
which is wholly inappropriate for this.
And I want you to know too, the music in the background was provided by Hardy and Ryan Beaton, but all of the little production flourishes Al took care of on his own.
Which was nice because he was also tasked with doing this 3 days ago, and 12 said the drop dead. Deadline for this is midday
Yesterday,
on Thursday.
yeah.
We need it. When did he send it?
The 9:54 last night.
Yeah, and I'm like in bed. I'm not doing anything.
No,
with this
so
now.
is
We'll
Al.
take care of it in the morning.
That's right. So is Al.
The only people who feel that way have herpes and are afraid everyone will find out. Whoa there. You gotta know it.
Okay.
I would like, if I may, Al Cole from CBS Radio specializes in music production, video production.
No, I don't think it's
promotional
required.
interviews.
I don't think
it
this
is.
I don't think it's required.
If you're looking for services in those areas, you can email Al Coleholic. Excuse me, Al at alcoholic.com. And one more just quick plug, because he did take time out to give us his production, Fred. For your birthday, and this is going to be a gift that you'll get weeks from now, Al Cole has original music on Spotify. So you can search Al Cole, ALCOLE, now on Spotify.
It's got $5,000 plug.
Anyone can search that?
Yes.
Even if they're fat.
Yes.
That's true. And he'll have sex with you as well. All right. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for unearthing fredtoucher.com. Again, my attempt at comedic writing. I did the Alabama Slammer one at TJ Fridays. You guys really thought I did that? Or did you know I was being sarcastic?
I didn't care.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you to do this. Don't put this on me. I never asked you to unearth my effing blog
I thought
from
it was
25 years ago.
a real thing, but I just thought you were punching it up just for comedic value, and I was impressed that it was very Dad Boner-esque.
Pre-Dad Boner. It's a very Midwestern sense of humor. Don't blame me for this. I'm not the one who asked you to do it. I didn't ask you to do anything for my birthday.
Well, maybe.
That's where I draw the line. Don't blame me for that. All right. Well, thank you very much, Adam, for
Happy birthday, buddy.
And you can be sincere, unlike him who has to hide behind this veneer of caustic, devil-may-care.
Also very Midwestern.
Well, I don't have that Midwestern dad in me. I somehow avoided that. I'm very empathetic and loving. All right. Well, thank you very much. We'll be back in just a moment. Cedric Maxwell will be joining us.
Toucher and Hardy will be right back on the Sports Hub.
I got loving in me, don't you?
of Toucher and Hardy.
That's what I want on my tombstone.
On the Sports Hub.
Each and every game is always going to be different, and tonight it was more like...
The Celtics color analyst for 98.5 The Sports Hub Celtics Radio Network. Hi, Cedric.
It's your damn birthday, man. Congratulations. I absolutely love it. You're celebrating another milestone.
Yes, it's and every year it gets more and more exciting to age, as you are aware.
Well, just wait, my friend. Just wait. Okay.
Yeah, I used to think. Now it's all becoming very real. I can relate to everyone's birthday now. Absolutely, it's
the fact that I am my mom is still living. She's 91. She's going to be 91. But then after that, I'm going to be the senior. I'm going to be the senior in this thing at 70. So, my family looks at me completely different. And, they look at me as a paycheck, and I love it.
But you are still active and still earning. Is there part of you that likes being the oldest, like the head figure of the family?
Yeah, I do like that. I had a great celebration this summer with my family, and my mom had never met some of my other siblings, which I just found out. I told you guys when I was 60, I found out they had 2 other brothers and a sister, so they all met together for the first time, and that was absolutely sensational last Thanksgiving.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So you didn't know, and then you guys all met up this late in life, and then so it's like a gift.
I got a message from a young lady who was in the Wayback Machine and told me that when I was in college that I had her pregnant, and I'm like, I don't think so, and did the test and said, Cedric Maxwell, you are not the father. And I jumped all around, and I was telling my sister Lisa. And I said, Lisa, I want to let you know I took a paternity test. And without missing a beat, my sister said, oh, so you can find out who your real father is. Uh-oh. Somebody just dropped a bomb on me, okay?
Whoa.
That was the Gap Band, yes.
So she knew, but you didn't know?
Absolutely. Women in my family, or women in most families, like daughters and moms, they share information and secrets that nobody else knows in the family. So they knew, and my sister knew, but claimed ignorant later on.
Were you mad when you found out that she hadn't told you?
I was disappointed. I'm not going to say I was mad. I was disappointed that she did not believe that, I could handle that at 60 years old. I could see if you were, you held on to it when I was in my teens or even 21, 22. But after that, it comes a point where you let it go. And this is for anybody out there when those DNA tests and all that stuff. You should allow your siblings or those other people to meet. And for me, it was really cool that my mom finally met my other siblings for the first time, and my whole family got together, and it was just a great celebration. So I'm saying all this to you to say make sure you embrace this day that you have, that they're celebrating your birthday.
Let me just ask you this. So a woman, how old were you when the woman came out and said that you were the father of her child?
I was, let me see, I think I was 55.
Okay, and she said that she had the baby while you were in college.
Yes.
The hell's wrong with her?
Dude.
And it wasn't even yours. So it's
Dude,
just...
They pick, sometimes people pick the most popular person out there. So if you're going to pick a winner, why are you going to go with a horse that you think is going to lose? Just pick a horse you think is winning. So I think that's kind of what happened, and it turned out to be true and not true. And I was a little disappointed though, because I knew this woman, and I knew that that this child was this young lady who was not going to find out who her father was.
Wow. So, because you're not financially responsible. What an odd thing to spring on you. That's very odd. All right. Well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't true. It's good for you, I guess.
It was. It turned out to be not true, but just the fact that those things still happen, and it happened to me in my mid 50s, So let me say, brother, you might have a chance to go. Okay, don't let nobody give you a surprise today.
Okay, well, listen.
Hello, Fred. Hey, Fred. I just wanted to talk to you. Thank you, my pops.
So you're saying don't answer the phone? The guys can tell you. I have a friend who's been in studio who donated sperm for many, many years. He's a Mensa member. He's a genius. Right. And it turned out there was a Facebook group that were all his kids. All his kids from donating sperm.
No, he told the story when he was in
No,
here.
and it's absolutely true, and there's like 50 of them. And they're all... Yeah. And he was at Disney.
Do y'all look alike and all that?
He said there's some similarities. They're mostly lesbian couples are the ones that because they were inseminated. So like it's mostly lesbian couples, and he's in L.A. He works for a radio show in L.A. and he's been at Disneyland, and like 2 people have come up to him and said like, "You're our father."
God!
So yeah, it's like a whole thing.
Oh, Jesus! And they got a Facebook group that says, this guy's our dad. Oh my God!
And by the way, there's like a million laws that he's not supposed to be involved in any of this. And so it's like a little messed up. So be careful if you give away lots and lots of sperm that this could happen to you.
Okay, well, we're not going to do that today, okay? Thank you.
All right, well, it's just an idea if you needed some pocket cash. Cedric, you played in the NBA. There isn't, I'm sure that people would want it. All right.
So by the way, Cedric, the other night when you were doing the TV there, they had a nice flashback to your 81 MVP Finals series. That was a nice moment. That was cool to see.
Yeah, it was cool. I didn't kind of know I was doing the game until about a week ago, and once I found out, preparation is simply the same. I just go and start winging it. It's like, look, it's a basketball game. I'm gonna talk about it, and Tommy Heinsohn taught me better than anybody. All those notes and all those stats. If you're sitting down talking about a game, talk to us like you're talking to one of your buddies sitting down having a beer or having a drink watching the game, and most fans will connect to that.
Yeah, it was good. You and Drew and I'm sure you missed. What's your radio partner's name again?
Say his name.
Yeah, Hardy, say his name.
Fred,
you.
For once, Fred didn't lead you into this. It's great.
For once, it was you, not Cedric or me.
I'm sure you missed Sean Grandy that night, but otherwise, it was nice to see you on the TV set.
Well, thank you very much. And now I'm going to ring the bell quickly, before I get cut off here about just Joe Mazzulla needs to be Coach of the Year, and Brad Stevens needs to be someplace in the Executive of the Year. The way this team played last night against Miami, they were dead in the water, and Joe made some moves. Hugo is really good. He's a plus minus. So whenever he comes in, it's always something positive. He came in last night, changed the tenor, but man, the way Simon shot the ball last night was unreal.
Yeah, I will give him credit for allowing him to stay out there, and he played a ton last night. But, since you mentioned Mazzulla, what did you make of the postgame when he just kept saying illegal screen over and over and over again?
That didn't surprise me at all, and it didn't surprise you, because Joe doesn't give a damn one way or the other about what people think. He's going to get his opinion out there, and it's going to irritate people. And the more it irritates people, the more Joe Mazzulla likes it. So I didn't make anything at all. He made a great point, and he kept hammering it down. And then the people finally stopped asking him questions, and that was the best. And you can see that look in his eyes, like, when you guys ask me another question, I'm going to wring somebody's freaking neck. Bobby Manning, don't ask me a stupid-ass question, or I'm going to wring your neck right now.
I would rather he said that than just kind of Rain Manned it out. I was that's just like odd. I don't know. It was odd. I'd rather be known as being brash for my opinion than just repeating the same word over and over again to punish the media for a call.
Is that odd for Joe Mazzulla, though? Really, it's not.
No, because he's odd.
When he said it, that's who Joe Mazzulla is. He makes no qualms. Like Doc Rivers loved to be loved, and when he was around and coaching. Hey, baby, how you doing? And that. He loved that. Joe Mazzulla is on the opposite plane. All he wants to do is coach his team and win some basketball games and be treated fairly. And I can get with that.
But when he does the midday show, he's very personable and normal. Like he's odd in an interesting way, like not odd in like a prickish way. Like he does the midday show and he's very controversial. In fact, I wish we had him on. I mean, they're very lucky to get him. I think he's a great interview, which because he seems to not hate them. Like he seems not to resent them.
It probably because he hasn't been around them. When he's with these guys, it's like when he had the media play the coaches. He was pressing these guys like they were in the Final Four. I mean, I think they scored 3 points. It was, 58 to 3 or something like that. And he was sending a message like, look, I'm just going to beat you up and be mean to you. So that's who Joe is, and I think we all understand it. And, you get a chance to see that. The thing that he said before the first game to me, walking out on the floor this year was, we're going to muck this thing up. And they've done it. They've mucked it up, and the team plays harder than basically everybody else. And that's hard to say when you're talking about the Miami Heat team, because normally they just play hard, but they got out-executed last night.
All right, just one last question, and then we'll let you go. Okay, so Blake Griffin has this story that he came in and when he went to the Celtics, and he came in and he heard this. He's like, "Where's Mazzulla?" And he hears this popping in the background, and they're like, "Oh, he's doing karate. Would you like to meet his sensei?" How would you have thought of that if you were a player? That your coach was doing karate with a sensei.
Would you have turned around and gone the other way?
Would you have thought your coach was 7?
Yeah.
What would you have thought at that point?
I would have thought something really different, and because of who he is, but Joe Mazzulla is the same guy who loves to go, get a cold bath. He loves those ice baths. Like that. He will be in L.A. If we're in L.A. If we go to a place and it is 30-something degrees, you'll see Joe Mazzulla walking around with shorts on. And he always said that's cold is a state of mind. No, cold is in your mind. It's like where you guys are at now, and people down here in Florida right now are dying because it's supposed to be 44 degrees today. So, there was an alert last night talking about bring all your pets, bring all your animals in, bring all the plants in because it's going to be 44. So it's a different environment for people right here who can't stand cold weather.
Well, it sucks for you, too. That sucks that you're in Miami and it's that cold. But, all right. Cedric, what a pleasure to talk to you on my birthday. You are one of my favorite people to talk to on the radio. Thank you so much. Enjoy your travels and have safe travels, and we'll talk to you next week.
Enjoy this day for you, my friend, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
All right, there you go, the great Cedric Maxwell. Caller number 10 now to the contest line, 617-931-0985. We'll score a 4-pack of snow tubing tickets to the Neshoba Tubing Park and $50 gift card to the Outlook Restaurant. Visit Neshoba Valley Ski Area in Westford, Mass., or online at skineshoba.com. We will return. Here are the headlines.
Cedric Maxwell, you are not the father.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius and
But in fairness, it happened before. You know, because I was around at CBGB's when Bad Brains played their famous shows when I was 6. So I would know. All right. Look.
It's your birthday, Fred. Happy birthday.
Yeah. You've been already very negative about the whole affair. You're acting as if I've requested that you put on a major production for me, which is not fair.
Well, first of all, play a little bit of our pal Bird there, number 3, just so you can hear what it sounded like, as it was presented to you.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Freddie T. It's Birdman. Happy 51st. So, the only number I can relate 51 is with Area 51.
Did he already say the part that I couldn't understand?
Yeah, about the relay 51.
Yeah, okay, very good.
So this is what Bird sent to Adam.
Happy birthday, Freddie T. It's Birdman. Happy 51st. So,
what is the music in the background? He asked him, please just a dry voice, don't identify yourself.
It's the raw version of Butterfly with no lyrics.
So the only number I can relate 51 is with.
Hold on again.
I wonder if he just comes with his own bed. He just walks around with his own soundtrack.
Okay, so at first I thought, in first listen, I thought, oh, this is he just had music on in the background and didn't realize it because
like when fat guys walk around with a trombone playing
Bird
or a
line.
tuba.
But I think maybe he was because when you listen to it, it was the little bit of ramp up time and like he almost like jumped into the music at a certain point. Maybe he was indeed trying to set himself up with some background music.
Well, that's a failure.
The only number I can relate 51.
So the only way I can relate 51
Happy 51st
is with Area 51.
So the only number I can relate 51 is with Area 51. That's about it. It's out in the vial somewhere. Anywho, it's me, Bird.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Hey, doesn't matter to me. He gets back to me, lickety split, and I love it.
So
listen, we all love Bird.
2 more. We have one from, we already heard this, that Joe Murray was telling people to call you today and wish you a happy birthday, although Blind Scott said it was all him in the YouTube chat last night.
Yeah, he's a major portion of the show.
To the 1,000 people on the YouTube chat as opposed to Joe Murray was saying it to tens of thousands.
Oh, you're saying that there's more people listening on the radio than the YouTube chat. Tell that to the people on the YouTube chat.
Perhaps. But this was Joe Murray's own personal greeting to you.
What's up, Fred? It's Joe Murray. Happy birthday to you. So, here's a couple of questions I got for you. What does Fred Toucher eat on his birthday? You're rolling with a tomahawk steak? Maybe a little mashed on the side or a baked potato? What about the cake? Ice cream cake? Chocolate cake? I like myself a double, sometimes triple layered vanilla golden cake. Remember Carvel cakes? Anyways, I really want to know, Fred, what you're going to eat. So feel free to send me a photo. And I wish you the best, dude. You look awesome. 51, the slippery T still got it, bro. I listen every morning. Nothing but best wishes to you. Happy birthday from Joe Murray.
I love Joe. What a sweet gesture from Joe.
Unsolicited.
I appreciate that very much.
Joe's awesome.
When I asked him about the sides.
Yeah, that was the best part of that.
Now, I have not put a great deal into thought of what I'm eating today, but we were supposed to go. My daughter's got a game, and we were supposed to go to the city, and then I changed it because my son wanted to hang out with his friends. But in fairness to my son, then he was pissed that we changed the reservation. He wanted to go into the city.
Yeah.
So I thought he might. I was giving him the option of just blowing the whole thing off.
My kids love going downtown. They love it.
But he did not want to blow it off. So that was very sweet of him.
One more greeting to share with you, Fred, that didn't fall under the umbrella of reading blog posts from your past or, completely unsolicited, but one that we wanted to save for the very end here.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Freddie T. Freddie T. The T stands terrific. Happy birthday to you.
Did Gary Tanguay lower himself?
Gary Tanguay wishing you happy birthday.
Wow. Oh, that's more relief than anything else.
Wow.
To get a real A-lister in.
That's how I felt about it. That's how I felt about it.
Is this an olive branch back the other way?
Now,
Is that what
Adam, how did this all work itself out?
This had nothing to do with me. We had thrown out the idea of him being part of that bit, and this ended up being another thing that kind of came in unsolicited. So,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, I have no more.
Wait,
ill
so
will
how
against
did you
Gary
get it?
Tanguay.
Who reached out to Gary?
I did.
And so what'd you say? So finally he'll get back to you.
No, it was really it took a few times, and I Gary and I talked for a long time yesterday. All the stuff essentially is either misunderstanding or just bad timing. He's got a lot of stuff going on right now, not just
dude.
Yes, professionally, work-wise, but like moving multiple people, there's all this stuff happening.
Hollywood biz.
And he says, hey, I really couldn't do it the first time Adam asked me. He's like, I'm going to pass. But he said that was really more of just, I don't have time. I can't do it.
Right.
He said, I'm going to come on afterward, but Adam never asked me again.
Yeah. But why don't you go to my people? Right?
Now, what?
Why don't you ask Adam McKay?
Of going to,
Wrong Adam reaching out.
Of going to his people. No, the Tanguay and we're all good.
I figured that we were. I didn't figure there was really ever a problem with Gary. Adam did. Adam was very upset.
No longer. I am not one to hold a grudge.
No, I didn't
Thank
think
you,
that.
Gary.
I didn't think Gary was really upset at us. I just thought it was funny.
No, not at all.
No. I would figure not. I don't know what would have set him off. I mean, it was a pretty consistent thing that we were doing, and he always seemed to be in on it. Nothing really shifted.
And he listens all the time. He says it's great. He loves it.
Yeah,
Loves the show.
I don't really understand why he would have been upset all of a sudden. Right?
Yeah, well, he wasn't. A and B. He wants to wish you a happy birthday.
Well, thank you. All right, so we'll be back. Kendra Middleton will be joining us. We'll go around the NFL, then we'll get to your lovely emails. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
home playoff game with Houston on Sunday. They had full attendance at practice yesterday, and even better, Christian Gonzalez no longer in a red non-contact jersey. A sure sign he's a good bet to play against the Texans. Houston top wideout Nico Collins, meanwhile, missed his second consecutive workout. Bruins retired Zdeno Chara's number 33 last night, a ceremony before their home game against Seattle. And after that one is done, the Bruins went out and swept their homestand by beating the Kraken 4-2. Their next game is in Chicago tomorrow night. Celtics chased Miami for almost the entire evening before closing the game on a 21-9 run. They beat the Heat 119-114 in South Florida. Anthony Simons, 39 points off the bench. Jaylen Brown added 27. The road trip continues in Atlanta tomorrow night. And in baseball news, the LA Dodgers have signed the top free agent left on the board, outfielder Kyle Tucker. It is a 4-year, $240 million contract. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the $14.99 Big Deal Meals at the 99. Like the juicy chopped sirloin, all Big Deal meals are now available all day, every day for just $14.99. You gotta love the nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
The Bruins play here. Fred, what's it like to work with Hardy and Wallach?
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
Around the NFL with Toucher and Hardy. Hit somebody!
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, and we can be watched on YouTube. You can see Kendra Middleton. She's brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. So there's this thing on Instagram, I guess, that people are putting pictures of themselves up from 10 years ago. And my son went to me and he said, how does Kendra know Livy Dunn? Because he thought that Kendra 10 years ago, she has blonde hair. He thought that she was Livy Dunn, which I suppose is a very big compliment.
That is a massive compliment.
You could be dating a mustachioed, non-attractive but very rich pitcher. You could be.
I
doing
was
that.
very skinny in 2016, so I will take it.
Well, I don't think it was any reference to you not
I
being
think I was
thin
just
now.
blonde and skinny.
Livy Dunn is considered very pretty, so there you go. My
Well,
dad
thank you,
certainly.
Milo.
My dad, my dad has never mentioned a woman's beauty one time in our entire lives, but Livy Dunn somehow got into the Fox News world, which my dad solely populates. That's the only thing he really looks. Now, look, he gets both sides. He watches Newsmax too, but Livy Dunn somehow infiltrated Fox. So he was.
That doesn't surprise me.
He was like, she must be like super Christian or something because he got like.
I don't think she is. I think that she probably just went to LSU, so people.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, well, whatever. She got into that world, and my father started talking, and it freaked everyone out. It freaked my kids out. It freaked me out. I'm like, who are you to talk about a woman? I'm like, this is very unlike you, I never heard my parents say one thing about any race or religion or anything about anyone's looks. My entire life, which is actually a compliment to them, but they legitimately never commented on anything. Very boring people. Now, my father voted for Nixon as a 20-year-old in New York City, living in New York City. He was a Nixon voter, so he was the guy.
Yeah,
in New York City.
No. There was that was the big movement among young people in New York in the early 70s.
Yeah, you think of like late 60s, especially late 60s.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, like my dad. When was Kennedy elected?
62, right?
Oh, yeah, so my dad was 20.
60, sorry.
60, so my dad had just turned 18. So if my dad was able to vote in that Kennedy election, my father would have voted for Nixon. He would have seen that debate and voted for Nixon. Because you know that no one in the youth got caught up in the whole Kennedy thing. But they stole Illinois, so you know how that goes. All right, Kendra. Sorry about Jacksonville. I told you I was going to text you, but then I figured that you might misconstrue it as sarcasm. I was going to legitimately express my condolences because I know you were at the game.
It was the toughest in-person game that I've ever attended, but I will say my witch never got back to me. She took my money. Didn't send me pictures of the video that she was supposed to make for me, and she just took my money and ran. So I think that that's what I get for paying an Etsy witch.
What's an Etsy witch?
We talked about this last week. I paid a witch on the internet to curse the Bills, but she didn't do it. So.
Oh, you got into black magic.
I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
That
Well,
didn't
I mean,
work out for
technically
Black
I
Sabbath.
didn't because she didn't do anything. But she did take
Miss
my
Richie
money and
Blackmore
ran.
over here.
So.
I'll tell you this, is that I'm going to ask you this, how did the fans take it? Because I was with Hardy in Detroit when Detroit lost to the Commanders last year.
Yeah.
How did the Detroit fans kind of just took it?
Jags fans booed the team.
Okay.
Well, they're worse than Detroit fans.
Man.
They booed Trevor Lawrence off
Detroit
the field.
fans are good.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah,
is that
yeah.
Detroit fans just took it. They went, okay, this
I
sounds about
watched-
right.
So
This feels right.
Yeah, this feels good. It would be more odd if they won. Like if they won, there would probably been riots. But the fans were just kind of resigned to.
I watched a grown man and a grown woman scream at each other over Trevor Lawrence. Like 2 rows in front of me, there was a dude on my right side and a woman like 6 people down on the left. And he started booing and like screaming at Trevor. And she walks down the aisle and gets in his face and she goes, "We're not going to do that. We are not doing that today." And like starts yelling at this guy and he just starts booing Trevor louder. I was like, everybody needs to go home. Like we need to get out of this stadium. Everybody needs to leave and drink a water.
Yeah, they're mad at Trevor Lawrence
Yeah.
because he threw the pick.
Yeah. I don't think at the time they knew that it was tipped.
Okay.
People just thought that he threw his second pick of the day, like a walk-off pick, so they were upset.
Well, he was absolutely horrible this year. I mean, it all falls on Trevor Lawrence.
Exactly.
I mean,
It's his fault.
What a disaster of a season with a new coach when you weren't supposed to do anything.
Some people just don't know ball, you know?
Yeah, it seems like not a good reaction to what happened. All right, so here we are, the divisional round of the playoffs. Let's start with our home team, Kendra, if we could.
Okay.
Now, Bert is the only person that we have had on, including a Texans writer who has picked against the Patriots. Bert, in a very controversial thing that got people very angry. Again,
And rightfully so. I mean, if you're a Patriots fan, you have to thunder to the opposite side and start complaining.
Well, it's an absolutely ridiculous notion that the Texans could win this game. I mean, it's out of the realm of possibility. It could only come from a place of hatred of the Patriots. In all seriousness, it's a 3-point game. They're at home. I mean, the old adage, I know it's probably not true, is that you get 3 points for being at home. It seems like a fair line. They seem evenly matched. Better quarterback for the Patriots, so that obviously gives them a big advantage. But Kendra, how do you see this game playing out?
So it's not a secret that the Patriots have been the hardest team for me to predict all season long. My co-workers at Action are saying it's because they think I'm a little too close to the fire. I actually do have the Patriots money line this week. It's a little bit of a steep price at -170, but I don't hate it just because 3 points feels like a lot in a playoff game. But CJ Stroud did not look good last week. There was obviously some communication issues with their center. They're not going to have Nico Collins. It sounds like the Patriots are also going to have Christian Gonzalez. So
Can I interrupt just for 1 second?
Yeah, of course.
And double down on why you feel that's a steep price? Because the 3 points, which for years was considered to be the home field advantage, is no longer that. RJ Bell talked about this years ago, where the home field, if you're going to automatically factor that in, it's more like 1.5 or 2.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So, and if I'm doing the math right in my head, they're really only about a 1.5 point favorite if you were thinking about this in neutral site terms.
Yeah.
So why are they -170? That seems like a steep price.
I think it's probably because of the assumptions of who's going to play versus who's not and the struggle CJ Stroud had last week. I talked about this yesterday, too, with the advantage that people give to the bye week. I don't think it's this. I think it's more like half a point. I feel like it's usually 1.5 points that they wind up getting for the extra rest. So I kind of see that similarly. The other thing here is, too, that it's a dome team playing up here in what could potentially be a snow game. Like that's also a big difference to look at in this game for me. So I like the Patriots.
Can I ask you about that real quick? There's a couple things that I want to ask.
Yeah.
And just this is for the room. CJ Stroud played at Ohio State. The Texans are a defensive-dominated team. There was an interesting article in ESPN about players getting ready for cold weather. And unless it snows, the advantage is to the defensive linemen. All the offensive linemen the guy talked to said, my hands get numb. I can't hold. I can't, grab jerseys. And Von Miller was talking about playing in the cold and how unless it snowed, he felt he had a huge advantage because in the snow, obviously, you lose traction. It kind of evens things out. But, guys aren't able to grab. So even though the Texans are a dome team, isn't their style of play kind of negate that whole weather thing?
I'll go first. Snow is the factor because while they say it might, or you say it kind of evens things out, the offense knows where they're going.
Tom Brady would say that, wide receivers know where they're going. The defensive backs have no clue.
But if it's just cold, though, that's
just
advantage defense.
Yes. Yeah, that's fair.
Well, that's what it said. That's what they said. Defensive, edge rushers say it's much easier for us in the cold than it is for the tackles.
Yeah, I don't care so much about the cold. The snow, to me, is a huge factor for this game. Yeah, if you're worrying about your offense's chance against a really good defense, you want snow.
See, I think weather's massive. Even if you look at the statistics of when dome teams over time in, December, January, wherever, go into cold places, it always favors the team who plays in that cold weather. And that's the thing is that, sure, you could have played college somewhere cold, but your blood thins so fast. And there's no way for the Texans to emulate when they're practicing that cold weather or those climates or any of that outside factors. There's just no way.
Well, they played in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is when they're practicing, they can't make it cold. You can make practice loud with speakers and all of those types of things. You cannot make it cold.
Okay.
So I think weather is massive.
And the second thing is if you were the Texans and you had to choose at this time of year injuries, would you rather have your defense be 100% healthy or would you rather be missing the receiver?
I think defense is way more important because we have the saying defense wins championships, right? Defense wins championships, offenses put asses in seats.
Because the one thing that the guy from the Texans reporter said, and he didn't mean this as a point into who would win the game, and again, he picked the Patriots, is he said the defense is healthy.
Yeah.
Everyone's healthy. And I was thinking, if you look at this game, Nico Collins being out obviously affects the offense a great deal, but that defense being 100% healthy coming into this game, I'd almost be more excited if I was the Texans, okay, we're missing a guy on offense, but my offense isn't really what's going to win this game for us. It's our defense. So I just had that
defense travels in the playoffs, and the Texans do have the best defense.
Now, I think the Patriots are going to win. Let me just get that out of the way, which means not great things for the Patriots, but I do actually think the Patriots win this game. But
CJ Stroud's what's going to kill them, in my opinion.
Yes, if he turns the ball over, the Patriots are disciplined enough where it seems like, and Maye's good enough where it seems like they'll be able to score enough. And if you get the field lopsided with a turnover, that could be the difference in the game. We all agree it will be close. That's why you're taking the money line.
Yeah.
So we all also agree that score points will be a premium. Do we hit the under for this game?
So I also thought about that, but the total right now is 40.5, and that just feels yucky to me because I went
far
back,
and away the lowest on the board this week.
And I went back and I looked. The Texans can score points, and against good teams, they're just inconsistent about it.
Yeah,
and
they put a lot up against the 49ers.
And so that's kind of why I want to stay away from this total on top of the weather situation. I just couldn't get to the total. So Patriots money line, paying a little extra for it, but I think it's worth it.
What's your favorite game? What's your favorite bet?
My favorite bet is going to be the under in the Buffalo-Denver game. Buffalo is just absolutely decimated with injuries. They're going to need Josh Allen hero ball. And with all of their injuries, you're going to get Surtain on probably Khalil Shakir. So Bo Nix, I don't expect to have a huge postseason kind of run. I think Denver's good. I think that they probably win this game. I also have the Denver money line just because you're going to need those heroics from Josh Allen. I don't think that there's going to be a ton of points in this game. Probably a lot of Denver defense. I'm really worried about the injuries for Buffalo, so I think that is my best bet of the week.
See, I think Denver wins that game too, and the question is, as a Patriots fan, who do you want, the Bills or the Broncos, to win? That's the question.
I think I probably want to play the Bills because, like I said, they're so injured. If I'm not mistaken, and I am bad at math, I think there's 15 people on their injury report this week.
Right, and plus it's the third time you played them. You're playing them at home. You should have won both games. I would much rather play the Bills.
And Josh Allen has a knee, an ankle, and a hand. I know it's three different things, but I don't remember what all they are.
I understand. Yeah, he sat out with three different things or was limited with three different things on the Buffalo injury report yesterday or the week before. Any Red Sox, any Patriots fans will tell you don't want to go to Denver in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you can say that's ancient history, but
it's happened over many different
Denver
places.
beats the Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills are the team with all the pressure on them, so they've got that under their belt. Now you've got to play your third playoff game going into Denver. You have the advantage again at quarterback in that game, but You're on the road in Denver.
Weird stuff happens to the Patriots in the playoffs in Denver.
I will just say,
No
if Denver
way.
gets out of that game healthy and beats the Bills, I would like Denver in an AFC championship.
I can see that. I would be yeah, of course.
Now it is my birthday, and I'm going on a huge limb here.
There you go. So everyone listen to Fred. Yes.
By taking the number 1 seed at home in a playoff game.
Your
I would
birthday,
be going
man.
crazy.
Your deal. That's fine.
I would be going crazy. All right, and Kendra, you're going to stick around, but one
Yeah.
more.
I have
thing
one
that you
more.
like.
So thank God I have nothing on this 49ers Seahawks game because of the Sam Darnold news that came out yesterday. But my last bet is going to be the Bears with the 3.5. There is now a 4 out there via Caesars. So if you like that, get the 4. I think that the Bears are one of the most explosive offenses out there. Whoever establishes the run quickly in this game is who is going to win. But once again, a dome team who's been traveling a ton this season, going somewhere like Chicago where it's going to be cold, there's going to be wind. And I don't know if you guys watched that game last night, despite how it was kind of lopsided towards the beginning. That Chicago crowd was the loudest crowd of the entire weekend, and it's not even close.
What was the Darnold thing? He's
He
got
has
no
a-
bleed,
an
no
oblique.
practice.
An
But
oblique.
But he said to the media, it doesn't matter. He's playing.
No, he's going to play.
But you're getting the hook here, and that's the most important part, is you have that 3.5. It's not a 3, it's 3.5 or a 4. So I like Chicago to go out here. I get that their defense isn't great, and Matt Stafford might be able to carve them up, but with the weather, it's going to be a run game for both sides. So
See, I think the Rams are going to kill the Bears.
really,
Because if the Bears screw around in first halves, and if you let the Rams go up on you, I don't see that
but
team
Caleb
letting
has
down.
what, 7 or 8? Is it 7 or 8 fourth quarter comebacks this season?
He's been fantastic,
Insane.
and he was insane against that 4th down throw against Green Bay. Was one of the great throws you'll ever see, and he's riding high.
Matcha
Talking to
and nail
Bert about
polish,
this off
baby.
the air. The combination of Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. Good luck. Good luck. We'll see how long this train rides for, because Ben Johnson's acting the fool, and Caleb Williams is Caleb
You
Williams.
sound salty.
Do you think Ben Johnson is acting like a professional football coach?
I love
That's
how
not Rex
I love
Ryan?
it. I love it.
Yeah, well, Bert and I talked about it off air, and locker rooms are fickle. We'll see how long this lasts for Ben Johnson, and I am a little pissed that he's having the most success.
Yeah, and the new generation of coach, I've talked about this a lot. I know we got to go to break, but I think this new generation of coach relates to the Gen Z, type of player now a lot more than the older coaches. So any kind of tight pants coach you can get in there looks like success to me.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Ben Johnson didn't play, and he's a nerd.
They're having fun. You're just jealous.
Yes, I am. I'm a little bitter that he had the most success out of the 2 assistants, and I'm a little bitter that he had more success than the Lions.
It's okay. That's okay.
But it doesn't change the fact. Look, the Rams are on the road. They're a 3.5-point favorite. It's not wild to say that they're going to blow them
It's
out.
your birthday. You can cry if you want to.
Why? What? I didn't think
They're there.
I said my son said you looked like Livy Dunn 10 years ago, and this is what you come back with?
It was great.
Next thing you're going to say I'm not
It's
6'2".
like slowly massaging your shoulders. It'll be okay, Fred.
Okay, what are you going to do if the Rams blow out the Bears?
I
You're
mean,
going to
I
come
had
in
the
and
worst
eat crow?
week. Yeah, for sure. I had the worst week I've had last week all season long. I've been eating crow all week about the Jaguars. I've been eating crow about the Jaguars my entire life. You cannot hurt my feelings.
I don't trust Stafford's arm in the cold. He don't put enough velocity behind that thing.
So get on the Bears.
Yeah.
He's going to lose it. He's going to lose it in the wind. All right, we'll be back in just a moment with our award-winning email segment.
No, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
All right, we are Toucher and Hardy. Kendra Middleton is here. You can feel free to share any correspondence that you've received. If you'd like to email anyone on the show, go to 985thesportshub.com. You can follow us on social media at Toucher and Hardy, at Hardy985, and at Fred Toucher, where a empire is building. This is from Alex. Fred, is Phil Perry being unaware of Ian Mackay and the D.C. hardcore scene while living there akin to your dad being in New York City and voting for Nixon while seemingly being unaware of the time and counterculture bubbling up around him? Please discuss. Alex, we've talked about this with my father. The Ramones have a song called 53rd and 3rd, which is about Dee Dee Ramone hustling, selling his body for sex at the corner of 53rd and 3rd in Manhattan. That's what the song is about. It's about his experience from his perspective. Hardy is fascinated by the fact that my father, in the last couple of years, I mentioned that to him, and he went ballistic, telling me that, no, 53rd and 3rd, there was no gay hustling going on. That was a corner where there was no gay hustling. And he was in the city. Dee Dee Ramone, wrote this song in, 76? So he's talking about, 72. My dad was in Manhattan. And my father completely dismisses that, says that never happened. So just so you know, Dee Dee Ramone is no longer with us. My father still is. I'm going with my father, Dee Dee Ramone lying. Just 53rd and 3rd rolled off the tongue. That's why he picked that corner.
Yes.
Yeah, my father would be completely aware, too, of gay hustling spots. My father also throws a tantrum
You should
anytime
tell him to watch Heated Rivalry.
He doesn't mind. Gay stuff doesn't bother him. It's just he didn't see it, so it didn't happen is more the thing. If you mention Mad Men to him, which is set in New York while he was working in the ad industry in New York City,
right?
You would think Mad Men would at least interest him. It's about his life.
If not, it doesn't necessarily have to resonate with him, but it should be interesting. It should be, to get a glimpse.
You were on Madison Avenue in the 60s.
Yes.
You were a young ad guy. You weren't in creative, but it's about the ad age. None of that happened. No one was ever drinking. And then you go, oh, really? Yeah, I had this boss that you had to talk to before 1 o'clock because if you talked to him after 1 o'clock, he was so drunk that he would get violent. Okay, so what is it, Dad? Was Mad Men a lie of all that excess, or was your boss not drunk every afternoon and you couldn't deal with him? By the way, Toucher and Hardy's email bit is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call as all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. All right, anyone else got anything?
I have.
Go ahead.
No, it's by all means.
I was going to say I have a DM that someone sent me yesterday from their government name, and it's from Eric, and he goes, I typically enjoy your content until you do this. I made one of my DM videos. You're above this. I'm not trying to be dominating or say this is what you need to do, just that this content does not give you much long-term validity. I always ask my sister when she does this, who is your audience? How can you describe them in person? I love feedback. Feedback's great. You don't have to like all my content, but this is my most successful series, so I'm going to keep making it. I scrolled up, and about 5 messages prior to that, he said, those lips look like once you're attracted to someone, you suck and suck and suck. Are you into women or men?
Yeah, what's the problem? What did he say that's wrong?
The constructive criticism sucking pipeline is thick with this one.
What you're receiving now is backlash because he was not featured in one of your DM videos.
Yes,
but this is from his government account, like his literal government name. I doubt he wants to be in one of these videos.
There's no guarantee this guy is smart. He's just active.
I don't know. When you post your family and stuff online, I doubt you're trying to be drugged by me on the internet. I think you're just stupid.
What's funny is that a lot of times the most obscene, crazy stuff that you get comes from we've talked about this a million times, invariably from someone who either has a reference to Jesus in their profile.
Or girl dad.
or a person with a daughter,
Yep.
and you're like, or like that's like presenting themselves as this huge family
Yeah.
man, and you're like, well, it seems like you have a pretty good life. Like, why are you expressing this
Yeah.
kind of vitriol to a stranger on the
Yep.
internet? Like,
Yep.
because I don't do that.
But I
Like,
thought that was awesome.
On the air, I make fun of famous people because for entertainment purposes and things like that, but I don't feel the need to reach out to them personally. That is true.
Here's an email from Joe. As Blind Scott called early on in the show today to not only wish Fred a happy birthday, but also offer up some ideas for how he could celebrate. And Joe said, can you just imagine the world of sensual delights if Blind Scott could get you pinned down in a room at that Best Western? Because let's face it, that's what he was aiming for.
Now, I don't know. I know what Blind Scott looks like, but I'm not positive what his proclivities are sexually. Are you?
No, it's
very up in the air.
It's like a 4-dimensional whirlwind of things going on.
Yeah, if you ever wanted like an interesting case study on ambiguity, it would be that of Blind Scott. And we've discussed it off air, but none of us are completely certain what the vibe is there.
It's a big spectrum between gender and sexuality and proclivities.
He's a modern-day David Bowie.
Now,
Let's
he
just
is
say it.
trans in that he has had some surgery, but
Yes.
and he expresses this
Yes.
very adamantly. I mean,
Yes.
I am
Yes.
certainly not speaking out of school.
Oh, no, you're...
But I don't know what he's attracted to. That is,
Well,
and,
now
no,
that
and
you've
none of us
mentioned this,
do.
we will all find out. I'm sure in the comments of the YouTube stream. Right?
Well, I don't look at that, nor do I look
people.
at anything he puts online. So I don't. I can't.
They're not
say.
difficult to find.
Oh, and here's the email from Scott that came in at 6:30 this morning after you had tried a Celsius for the first time. Scott said, Fred, that's actually what I'm doing is Celsius. I have 6 of them a day, and I get a metabolic table done because I'm transgender. They don't cause harm like diet soda.
6 a day?
Yes.
I just had 2.
That's 1,200 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah,
I thought
I-
I was bad.
I had 2, and I can tell that I had 2.
It's something you
caffeine
and Scott
beverages.
can share.
I drink so much caffeine, it's really bad.
Yeah, you and Scott think alike.
So I
Good for you.
drink like 7 or 8 Diet Cokes a day. There's
You're
no
kidding.
question about it.
Whoa.
There's no question about it.
Have you ever had a kidney stone?
No. I'm actually in fairly good health.
Except for the gout.
No, I'm on alpurinol. So
When was the last time he
there's
hasn't
no
had
gout.
an attack in
He
a
hadn't
while?
had a gout flare-up
No.
in months.
Yeah,
guys-
the only pills I'm on that aren't about me being loony are the alpurinols. I take no statins or any blood pressure medication.
You don't want the kidney stone. The kidney stone's not
No,
fun.
they say
Well,
that
that's what
it's-
you say, John.
They
But
say-
don't speak for me.
They say it's really close to like the feeling you have when you give birth.
Oh!
But apparently, if you feed.
Oh, Hardy!
No!
Could I feel it? My urethra would be like a birth canal. Hardy!
Do you know if you feed ducks bread, it gives them gout?
Did you know that? It's a fact. It bothers Hardy
It's the
so
wor-
much.
it's the worst conceived, executed, and
We have an answer.
and delivered character ever. The guy who wants to feel what it likes to be a woman guy.
But it does get the best response because of its terrible effect on you. It does get a wonderful response.
Blind Scott has let us know that they do not know what they are attracted to.
Oh,
Very good.
okay.
No more Blind Scott for the day, please. I'm asking you. It's my birthday.
Fair enough.
That's enough Blind Scott. He had a very good phone call. But that's
Fred,
enough.
happy birthday, sir. I'm so glad you were born. Please send some thanks to your wonderful parents. Gary Tanguay is still on my list of a-holes who like to smell their own farts.
Oh,
love
please.
Ben.
No, Gary has released an olive branch to us and explained in great length over the course of 47 minutes all what's going on in his life with
And
Hardy.
not Gary Tanguay wishes you a happy birthday as well.
Very good. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. I do appreciate it. The audience, our audience, it's good to be reminded, is mostly nice, normal folk, because often you are drowned out by voices of discontent. But it is nice, or the Blind Scots of the world, which certainly drowned out all your emails. If you've ever want to blame someone for me not getting back to you, you can blame Blind Scott
I'm not
because
plowing through
my
all
thumb
that.
gets
Yeah.
carpal tunnel after I've erased all his emails.
Yeah.
Yes, going back, let's see here to, I don't know when I set up this folder, but since I set it up, let's say in the fall, I have still more than 2,000 unread, and I click on a few of them generally each day. I mean, I may forget for a couple days in a row, but there are. I mean, that's like someone's spam folder.
That's
Can I ask you your opinion on something? My agent just called to wish me a happy birthday right now.
Yeah.
Should I be concerned that my agent is unaware that I'm on the air at 9:38 in the morning?
Yes.
a little
Considering
bit.
that she's in New York City
A little bit.
and it is still East Coast time.
Oh,
I concerned, no. Disappointed, yes.
Yeah, because she sent an
Absolutely.
email saying
Yeah.
happy birthday, Heather Cohn, the great Heather Cohn. She sent a message saying happy birthday. But then she said, I'll call later, and she decided to call at 9:38 in the morning.
Ryan says she's unaware we go into our breaks late.
Well, 40 is pretty standard. I'll put my clock up against anyone else's clock.
Ooh.
If our clock is on time, my clock is on time. I will put my clock up against anyone else's clock. Let's do a measuring contest. Clock measuring. A clock measuring contest, if you misheard me.
I got you.
With an L. All right. Anyone else to finish this whole thing up in a nice bow?
No.
Nah, I got something boring about the Dodgers. I don't think we care about.
Yeah,
My
I saw
son
that.
called me about called me during the show about the Kyle Tucker signing.
Yep.
Because it's so good for baseball.
Yeah, baseball's not in any trouble at all.
No.
Yeah, but the Dodgers have a payroll of over $400 million next year.
Yeah, and a lot of it deferred too. So like,
Cool.
and there's even money in there that's deferred in 20 years from now. So like,
There was a note earlier this week that I think John shared with us about the let's just call it what it is, the upcoming work stoppage and how
Yes.
there will be no baseball.
Right.
Where, negotiators from one of the sides said, I've done these before. I have
Manfred said this.
Yeah, Manfred said, I've never been a part of any negotiation where before the negotiation started, one of the sides said, we're not negotiating.
and what's
This particular thing. They get to the table and Tony Clark sits down and says, "Don't even talk about a salary cap. We're not talking about this."
in the hubris from which
We haven't started talking.
I know.
We're
the
not
highest
talking.
paid players, the Bryce Harpers of the world, have taken it upon themselves to speak for the entire union is funny. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go through this exercise. Pull up the Yankees payroll and see how it's distributed.
Yes.
I've had 2 Celsiuses. Distributed. And show me how much of that roster wants a work stoppage. It's extraordinarily top heavy. There's guys making less than $1 million, many on that team.
Yeah, the
and there's some
Dodgers-
guys making $30 million, like 2.
Yeah.
And the rest are making less than $1 million. And tell me if those guys making $800,000 a year want a work stoppage.
Yeah, there are 5 guys making big money, and then the rest are making minimum wage theoretically in baseball terms. But the Dodgers, after the signing of Tucker overnight, have 8 guys making over $100 million total.
Yeah, so it's good. So you can just pencil them into the NLCS. And so that's great. Good for baseball. That's an excellent thing to have happen. That you just know immediately that even if 5 guys get hurt on that team, they're making the playoffs.
Tucker's making $20 million more a season than Aaron Judge. I mean, what
Not
are we doing
$20
here?
million more a year.
Yes, a year he's making $20 million more.
But there's no problem. They don't need a cap, Callahan, with that argument. Just people that go, oh, but the problem is because, okay, fine, but it's a problem that needs to be fixed, and they have to fix it. All right, Kendra Middleton, how do people get in touch with you?
You can find me at Kendra Middleton on Instagram, TikTok, Kendra J. Middleton on YouTube. I'm Kenny with an I Middleton on Twitter. Love you guys so much. Have a safe weekend. Happy birthday, Freddie T.
Thank you, Kendra.
Good to see you, Kendra.
All right, we will be back in just a moment to end things for the week.
clock. Right circle to Zaka. Sends one across. McAvoy shot, and he scores!
The Bruins play here. When it comes to the show, Hardy thinks the same way you do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
All right, we are Toucher and Hardy. The Stack is brought to you by New England's largest Volkswagen dealer group, Colonial VW, located in Medford, Wellesley, and Westboro. Come see the amazing finance and lease offers happening every day at colonialvw.com. Yes, you can have it all at Colonial. All right, Hardy, what is going on as we finish up the show?
On this 16th of January, Freddie T's birthday.
Yeah.
Best title, Boston Globe. She writes great stuff. She's got a column today. The Boston accent is disappearing. How much longer will its music linger? This is something we talked about a little bit, how fewer and fewer people have Boston accents. I think you mentioned this yesterday, Fred.
I did a couple days ago because Jimmy Fallon, yeah.
That's why.
Did a hysterical bit that the Globe actually wrote an article praising of Ben Affleck and Matt Damon naming every town in Massachusetts. But by the way, Conan O'Brien did at that Leary Foundation, that Cam Neely thing at the
Comics
Come Home. That was a bit in song.
Oh.
Conan O'Brien did all the towns of Massachusetts. So there's no way one of Fallon's writers weren't there and said, let's take something that was kind of funny and completely make it devoid of comedy.
And put it on for 5 minutes on our
in Conan's
on the
thing.
Tonight Show.
In Conan's thing, by the way, it had nothing to do with accent, really. It was just a way of like incorporating the towns.
But I bring it up because in the middle of this column, quote, the core demographic for the Boston accent is sports radio, said 98.5 The Sports Hub's Mike Felger. And we hear less of it, and it's too bad. He took a moment to extol the accent's beauty, its inherent sarcasm, its implied screw you, its intense in a rush delivery. It's a romance language, he swooned. Also quoted in the column, Big Jim Murray. Big Jim Murray said, I didn't want to sound like local trash, he said, recalling his motivation for signing up for voice and articulation class. But the older I've gotten, the more I've appreciated being from here. So
oh, that's nice.
You can read that yourself if you want to. I just thought it was nice. I got a little mention. All right, you ready, 12? Things for you to do in Boston this weekend?
I love this.
Tall Ship Ice Rink grand opening.
The tall ships. I love sailing.
Oh, good. Good.
These are things to do in Boston this weekend that might be free for Adam 12. The winter season can be celebrated with ice skating, ice bumper cars, chalet lounges, festive food, drinks, and the city skyline as your backdrop.
Oh, you get to experience the city skyline.
It sounds delightful.
The rink at the Tall Ship Boston waterfront.
They got to charge for that because if you get to see the
I
skyline.
used to see the city skyline from the top of Rattlesnake Rock when I'd hike up there in Greenwood when I was a kid. So cool.
I think you can just walk by and see the skyline, though, so we're going to go ahead and count that as free.
Yeah. I'm going to guess that's one of the selling points is that you get to stand in the city. I'm going to guess that that's got to be free.
Yeah.
Now, Adam 12 has already told us he's not going to be here on Monday.
True.
But there's something going on at the MFA, and guess what, 12?
Yeah.
It's free.
Oh, what is it?
Free MFA on MLK Day.
I have taken advantage of this a few times in the past.
Well,
yes.
it is exorbitant to become a member. It is $90 a year to become a member of the FMA.
Free advance tickets are required. Will be available to reserve.
And it's packed.
Starting on Sunday at 10 a.m.
Isn't that funny for $90, which... Yeah. Let's be honest. I don't think I'm being snobbish when I say $90 is over 365 days. You can spread that $90 out.
We absolutely did that for a couple.
No, but my point is not even. I'm not making even fun of you. Yeah. I'm saying that isn't it funny that it's absolutely packed because it's free to get in. When if you extrapolated, it's cents a day to like become a member that can get in free whenever you want.
Hardy, speaking of art, I would like to plug an event as well. Saturday, This Art Rocks, featuring artwork from the Boston music scene, hosted by my good friend, Dave Tree.
Robbie Roadstein.
It's close enough. 7 to 10 p.m., Sweet Tree Inc. Art Gallery, 777 Concord Avenue.
I would go to that. If it was not up against the football games, I would go to that.
Springer of SSD has some art in this particular thing. So, yeah.
What is that? Say it again, because I was being. No. Say the event again.
It's This Art Rocks. It's Saturday night from 7 to 10. Sweet Tree Inc. Art Gallery, Concord Avenue, Cambridge, which is kind of close to where you are.
No, Adam, actually, I've met Springer because I live in Boston and am aware of what goes on in this city and who the legends of the scene are.
That's right.
I want now.
Somehow unlike Phil Perry, if you asked Phil Perry who grew up here who Springer was, he'd have no idea. But yes, I have met the man at an Iggy Pop show. Very punk rock of me.
Someone mentioned Robbie Roadsteamer and all that because he is buddies with Dave Tree. I'm sure.
Yes.
I don't know if Robbie is going to be back from Minneapolis in time to attend this art rock event, but sure, if you follow Robbie or anything having to do with what's going on in Minneapolis, he was arrested for a second time by ICE agents.
Well, in fairness, Robbie was wearing a giraffe outfit. So.
With the thong. It's the thong over the top of the giraffe outfit that really set them off.
It's very triggering.
I wish... Is anyone telling him that every time they arrest him, a GoFundMe gives him a bunch of money and they're arresting him for no reason?
Is anyone telling ICE that? You mean?
Yeah, like it's just so silly.
Really
it's just so silly.
The government's on it. The geniuses running this outfit, they're on it.
I mean, he's protesting, but he is in. First of all, he's of no harm to anyone, and he's wearing a giraffe outfit, actively trying to be arrested. You would think ignoring that would be a benefit to everyone, but I guess you get the satisfaction of arresting him, which is what he wants anyway. So,
well done.
Listen,
yeah.
Far be it for me to get that political as to say the futile. I mean, he's just flying around getting arrested, and you're the ones doing what he wants. It just seems best left ignored for everyone. But listen, I don't want to blow up Robbie's spot. I'm sure he wants to get arrested, so here we are. All right, well, thank you all for the
Happy
birthday.
birthday,
wish.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you,
Fred.
everyone.